Welcome to the Sk8LIKEYou podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, it's Mark, Sk8LIKEYou podcast, Sk8LikeYou.com. I am here with the one and only Jackie Cusmano, partner in crime for Sk8LIKE No Brakes, and we're here talking about the event. It is a few days removed, but yeah, I don't even have a whole litany of questions or anything. I literally just want to. This is the first time we probably had a full-on conversation since. I just want to get your thoughts top to bottom on how you think the whole thing went. And yeah, you tell me.
Very grateful for everyone who attended the event, especially those who attended both nights.
Yeah, 100%. Did it go better than expected for you?
Definitely better. I was not expecting the amount of people for our first event.
I didn't at all. I think I might have mentioned this to you. I felt like Pennsylvania, Jersey, I feel like I felt like we're gonna get enough attendance, at least from the immediate surrounding area, to probably, break even or make it work, you know what I mean, or whatever. But yeah, I didn't anticipate that, you know what I mean, at all. How many, do you know offhand how many different states were even represented?
Not offhand. I don't.
We had them from Texas, Carolinas, all throughout Tennessee, all through New England. A bunch of those people showed out, which was cool. Obviously Jersey and all that, but man.
Carolina.
He said North Carolina.
Yep, Carolinas. Yeah. So because I don't know about you, when because we went out to dinner before, right? And I remember being because it was 8:30 or something like that.
We gotta go.
But I'm glad it went that way, because I get there and I come down the road, right, down Lehigh, and go to turn in, and I had never seen cars parked in the places that they were parked. What you must have been ecstatic when you pulled in, you saw that.
I was. We pulled down the street, and I'm like, was the session beforehand? Was there a session already still there? I was not expecting to be 8:30 and see the parking lot already packed.
It was, yeah, man, so stoked. So yeah, it was really, really good. Okay, so what do you attribute that to? I mean, because I look at it and I think people just showed up because of 8 Wheels, but man, I feel like that's not neither here nor there. But my real question is, I really felt like the whole weekend, and maybe this is me being biased or whatever, but I swear, man, I felt a level of energy, happy energy, both nights, that I don't remember feeling at a lot of I don't know. It just was different to me. To me, am I crazy, or did you pick up on that too?
No, it was different. Something new.
When you say different, what do you mean?
Something that's not done other places.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You trying to be diplomatic, Jackie? Yeah, man. No, I think no. Good. Look, I get it. Trust me. Trying to talk about this for weeks. It's trying to find a way to, and not dance around anything. It's not like I'm not hiding any feeling or anything like that. I go to events everywhere and I have a good time, and I and I'm friends with these people that hold different events all through the South, and the DJs and everything like that. Right. There's no hate, but yeah, I believe that I know how I feel about what the vibe is, you know what I mean? Between those DJs, between the scene up here. And I really felt that's enough. We don't have to, we can just do what we do here And that's enough. Does that make sense?
Yes. Exposing people to our area and what we do up here.
Mm. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm so glad to hear you talk about the thing with what you said today, actually. Escape Like No Brakes will always be an all ages thing. Is that what Eight Wheels was?
Yes. Eight Wheels Sunday night main event was always open to all ages. You know, we had, the kids that were skating, and then we had the kids that weren't really skating, and we would set up an entire table of just coloring books and activities for the kids that didn't want to skate, but their parents were there, and we didn't have to worry about, oh, I can't find a babysitter. Okay, bring your kids. Your kids can either skate or they can come hang out.
It's crazy too when you say like the main event, right? Because that's like the time where like people are like, oh yeah, no kids, main event kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? And yet your approach was to say, no, the most special night, the one that people want to come to the most, that's the one that we're gonna say yes, like have your kids here, and I mean, I don't know, I know for me as a kid, I would go to the rink and I would see people and I'd be like, that's what I want to do, And I think with the dawning of adult nights and all that like, I get why we have these things that like for adults, and I understand like adults not want to have to dodge skate mates and kids and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes I feel like it was a way overcorrection, right? To where they got these like, no pun intended, these kids got lost in the shuffle. Does that make sense? Do you think that's the case too?
Yes. There's a difference. There's a difference between not wanting to go to a family session or an all ages session as opposed to, I'm going to go to this skating event and these kids can skate.
Yeah.
These kids can hold their own. It's not like we're just letting any kid off the street come in. If the kids can skate, why aren't they allowed to skate?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then so funny because you we were talking about Jack, and it was crazy because you sent me that video and I'm like, I literally was in the middle of commenting on that and how impressed I was. So for those of you guys who don't know, how do you know how old that kid is?
He's
Jack?
10.
He's 10.
He's 10
okay.
years old.
So we're skating, it's a decent little shuffle line going, it's moving, whatever. And Jack's riding the wall, right? And he goes down and he kind of hits the wall, hits the floor. It was a pretty decent bump.
He clipped the wall. He clipped that white wall, and he kicked me. I'm good, Jack. Don't worry. He kicked me. I tried to catch him. Everybody split him, and he jumped right back up and got right back in the line.
It was crazy because but I remember instinctively, like, I'm just like, oh, up, come on. And it was very clear. He didn't even need that. Like he did. I didn't even get to pass him fully. and he was already up doing it. And to the point where, I go from like being like up, quick, up to being like, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, man. And then I even circle back. I come back, I go find him. And I'm like, dude, that is exactly what you do, man. It was so cool. I was like, I don't know who's teaching that kid, but man, he knew exactly what to do. But to your point, if they know what to do, you know what I'm saying? And like they have the etiquette, they have the ability, why can't they be there? It doesn't make sense to me.
And no complaints. I didn't hear a single complaint. When he fell and jumped right back up, everybody just split him, made sure he was okay, and there was no complaining from the adults of, oh, this kid just fell in this line of 60 people. Like, it happens. We all go down. No one complained that happened.
Yeah, because the reality is that happens every event, at some point with an adult, right? It's gonna be it just happened to be him. And there were adults that took falls, worse falls. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, my dad crashed into the wall at Steel City on his own. I mean, it happens.
It happens.
He rode the wall a little too much that night.
Oh, dude, I went down at Cortland bad a few weeks back, smashed up my elbow. Ugh, ugh. But all right, so okay, well, so I know that we talked about this. We're obviously never going to replicate eight wheels, no brakes. You know, not that I would even know what that means, but you know, having that proper expectation, setting that proper expectation for everyone else and ourselves, I guess. You know, but yeah, I mean, in your opinion, because I mean that was your thing. Do you think that there was an element of it, a spirit of it, or in anything that we were able to capture? Or
Oh, definitely. I mean, just especially the veterans of Eight Wheels that showed up to support, which, by the way, were not all Eight Wheels veterans. A lot had to do with Skate Like You. Just want to point that out there, since you think you didn't do anything.
Oh, all right.
No, I mean, there's definitely it. It was great. It was to be able to bring that vibe and to put it with something new.
Mm, mm. I tell you what, there's something about, because I've never seen it at a skating thing. You guys talked about how you did it all the time, but like when you do this thing when people bring food, right? And call me crazy, right? But I feel like just having that somehow creates like this communal vibe that like just that in itself, just, I don't know, it creates an atmosphere of community that you probably wouldn't get without that thing. And it might sound like I'm over thinking it, but like, yeah, I really felt like that. Am I crazy or?
No, no. Special shout out to anybody who brought stuff, made food, brought a bag of chips, anything. Like, just being there and thinking about other people when you're there. Shout out to Mikey who literally brought 400 sliders
I
as
know.
his Eight Wheels tradition, like he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to
No.
put out that money. It's just something that he loves to do.
Yeah. And I loved him for doing it. I had my share. I really
It's
did.
funny. I didn't eat anything. It's like my own Eight Wheels tradition. Like, just so busy running around and wanting to skate. Like, the past couple years that we did Eight Wheels, I would make myself a plate of food and I would put it at our table and be like, all right, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna eat it later.
Hmm.
And it wound up getting thrown out every year. Um, one of the ladies, Tracy, that used to work the party, without like her even knowing that it was my food at my table, and this happened multiple times, she would just throw it away, like just naturally cleaning up and everything. So I would start, the last couple of years I started bringing a Tupperware with me, and I would forget to use it. I would forget to get food, and I didn't eat Sunday. All the
Dude,
great food that people made and brought, nothing.
it's funny too, is that like of all the events that I go to, and it kind of almost felt bad because like I I was so caught up in the whole thing. I feel like I skated at this event more than any other event I did. I literally did like one on the spot interview, like with Alberto. Other than that, people were just using it for like a selfie thing. I just had so much fun. And it's funny too, is I was talking to Liz about this because she's like, I have all this video. And she's like, where she's like, I'm just catching you, like just taking it all in. She's like, I'm watching you just be like, just sitting there looking around, like just so happy. And so, so I haven't seen any of it yet, but yeah, so I just was, man, I was just completely caught up in it. I probably should have been working more. I don't know. I don't know. What were your, so is there anything in particular that you wanted to mention about the whole thing? Was there anything that stood out to you or?
Just the people that actually showed up, like just being so
Mm,
grateful. Like I said, especially people that showed up both nights. Like,
mm,
the people that showed up just Saturday missed what this event was really about.
mm, mm. Explain that, like, so people have a full understanding. What do you mean by that specifically?
To me, the skaters that only came Saturday night, to me is like going to a race and only going and watching the practice and not staying for the actual race.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like just watching qualifiers or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there definitely was something different on Sunday. The whole thing was amazing. I don't want to
Oh no,
imply that it
Saturday was
wasn't.
great.
Yeah.
Saturday was epic. It was great. I appreciate the support, but Sunday, some people should have been there Sunday.
Yeah. 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 But yeah, I don't know, man. I can't. I just was kind of overwhelmed by the response, and like I said, I don't like, and I'm not saying that anything else is. I'm not saying anything about anything else. But I'm just saying about what I experienced. And like I said, I probably have some bias too, right? But like, I don't know, man. I felt like I've said it to a few people, like where I'm like, doesn't it just feel happy here? It just felt happy the whole time, man. Like like it was just in the air, like no drama. Like that's not even. It's pointless for me to say no drama because it's not even. It didn't even feel possible. You know
There
what
were
I'm
no
saying?
issues.
Yeah.
No one was screaming at each other. Everybody was blending in on that floor, the different styles. There was no issues.
Hmm. Hmm. Were you in that long ass line that like went on forever?
A little bit.
A little bit.
I was in for a little bit.
Have you seen Marco's video yet?
Not the whole thing. I watched a little bit, but I couldn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like that's literally how long it is. Like, I gotta go to work. I can't sit here. Like I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. It was like 20 plus minutes, like 65 people. That's crazy.
All
That's
keeping the
crazy.
same pace, no issues.
Now, was that something that was like, have you seen that? Like, have you experienced that before or seen that? I just
I have.
personally haven't.
I have.
Wow. Wow. Cause it was funny because I wasn't out there. I was like, there was that was actually one point where I was like going around. I was like talking to people, taking pictures with people and all that kind of stuff. And I go and I look and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty long line, right? And then I keep going. It's like 5 minutes later or something like that. And I look out and I'm like, no, I'm like, that's the same order of people. They're still going. You know what I mean? It's like 10 minutes. And like, it just was, it was crazy to me, man. It was so organic. That's I guess, like kind of how I think about the whole thing. It felt so organic. It felt right. Everything just felt like it kind of, I know these things don't happen on their own, but yeah, it was like an effortless, like kind of fun that took place,
and
man.
and to be led by Matt and Andrew, two kids in their 20s that call Whitehall home. Like that
Yeah,
was just
man.
like perfect.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. So, was there a point in that weekend before you and I even mentioned it or whatever? Was there a point though for you, like, where you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this again?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you kind of just knew.
absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
had, dude. I think I told you like it was about 3 days before. That's when I started really kind of like wondering, like, oh shit, what's gonna happen if nobody shows up, kind of thing. I couldn't have been more pleasantly surprised. It was, oh my god. It's funny. Is like I'm never at a loss for words, but I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for questions. Like it's just I don't know. I'm so grateful to you guys. You have no idea. You have no clue. I don't know.
I'm grateful
I,
for you, man. Without all your podcast, your videos, everything that wouldn't have been possible.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You're
you know
No.
you're still in that mode.
it's a good mode. I need to stay here rather than the other mode. Trust me. You know what I mean?
I told you you were going to be staring at the floor in amazement. when we went out to dinner. I told you that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I was there.
Yeah. It definitely did. Why don't you get on camera, Rob? I just want to hear. Just tell me. I just want to hear. All I want to hear. You did 8 Wheels for so long with Jackie, but you've made it plain. Like you kind of like were like, hey, if she's gonna do this, she's gonna do it. I'm in Japan. This is their thing, right? But
Andrew really thought I was in Japan. He really did. He was almost in tears when he saw me when he walked in. So
I forgot about that.
yeah, he really was.
But
So.
and I'm sure, like you're definitely a sounding board, you know what I mean, for Jackie, through this process and whatever. But like, you kind of sitting back watching, the whole thing, like the process, from, the origin of the idea to the end of the weekend, like, but when you're there watching it happen or unfold, like, what are you thinking?
I was proud of both of you guys. Just the fact that when I said I was done in 2018. And I kept getting, when are you going to do it again? When are you going to do it again? Look, I said you should do it again, but the time just wasn't right. The time was right when you came about. So when she mentioned it to me, I said it's a good decision. Look, all the years that we did it, when I used to pull her into the office and let her watch what we were doing and keeping her involved in everything, it was pretty much grooming her. Because this used to take up my whole summer for September. I would start in May, with shirts and rink contracts and this and that. So it took up all of my summer for years. You guys did a great, great job. And like I told you at dinner, you are going to stand there and you are going to look at the floor. I had no doubt that you were going to have a successful event. You seem to think that it had a lot to do with 8 Wheels. But what I will tell you is that at least 50%, if not more, of those people that were there were not 8 Wheels people. Had they heard about 8 Wheels, had they kind of put this together, of course. But a lot of them had never been. I think Andrew may have been to one, maybe two when he was younger, the last 2 years, if that. I want to say it was probably just the last year that he was there, as well as a lot of the other ones. So you guys did a great job. And, the fact that you brought it to Whitehall, to the Lehigh Valley, that made it even better.
Yeah.
This is not 8 Wheels. Does it have the element of 8 Wheels? Of course, because that's what works. It works. It worked for me for 12 years, So is there an element? Yeah, but this is only going to get better.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I hope so. I mean, and I think that like my perspective on it, where I really just can't help but credit, you guys and 8 Wheels and stuff like that, is because even though I never went to one, it's the reason that I'm doing it. Right. Like just knowing you guys, from the first time that you and I ever talked, like in the rain on the deck at Roller Jam, with skates on, I was like, dude, this guy, like I could talk, like this guy thinks like I think about this stuff, or I think like him, really is what it was. But like, I've been saying on here since the day that like someone kind of ever first asked me about doing an event, like where, and a lot of this too is just like knowing people that do them and watching that process, where I was like, if I do it like, one is I'm going to do it with a rink that I don't have to beg, right? Like they want us there as much as we want to be there.
Yeah, that's a key.
Like I've seen both ways, right? Like, and two, like it's got to be like what I'm going to be passionate about, You know what I'm saying? And like that I like, and it has to be with people that know how to do it. Cause I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You know what I mean? As far as like all that stuff
Hey,
goes.
I didn't know what I was doing the first time I put it together neither.
Yeah.
You know, it started out as a reunion for rinks that were closed in New Jersey. By the third year, it just snowballed. It just snowballed the third year. You know,
but I've literally, I mean, look, it's on record all over the internet, you know, in multiple episodes where people ask me these things and I'm telling them, I'm like, would I love to do one? Yes, I'm not, but if it's not going to happen until like I am confident about like who I'm like, it's not going to happen until I really like see an opportunity and a thing that I want to be a part of. And that like, that it's going to fire me up and that like, I'm just not going to go do it just to do it. You know what I'm saying?
the timing had to be right. And I believe that's what happened with Jackie. The timing was right. It just worked out because she could have revived it a couple years ago, you know, but the timing just worked out perfect.
Yeah.
You know,
and so but like I guess that I kind of give all credit because I can't think of anyone else I would have done this. Like there's no other thing I would have wanted to do this with. And like, and yeah, so like it's without you guys, without Jackie coming and asking me about this, like I wouldn't be a part of this. It's crazy because like I feel like if everything that I like do with all this stuff, like I don't think I've never been asked to be a part of something that I don't know. Thank you.
it's the passion. That was always look. If you go back through any eight wheels, go back 12 years, go back. Well, we're talking over 15 years now. I still have people today that used to come up to me and say, "Hey, did you ever go to that eight wheels event?" And I'm like, yeah, I've been there, because my face is not with eight wheels. It never was. Anybody that knew us knew it was my family that did it, but my face wasn't on anything. So if you didn't know me, it was not about the popularity with me. In fact, how long you been trying to get me to talk on this? I have no interest, in being popular. I do this for the skaters. I want to sit back and watch what they're enjoying. Like sitting there on Saturday and Sunday and watching this young generation just all of a sudden pop out of nowhere and do what they're doing now. These aren't 40, 50-year-old people that are coming back to skating. These are kids that have been skating the kids sessions and now they're exposed. I read a thing that Jackie put up about the kids at the session, and I'll give you a little history on that. So when we started Eight Wheels and we went full private, there was a lot of issues with the people that were coming back after so long not skating, because it was a reunion skate at the beginning. And my thing was, well, if your kid doesn't skate, or whether the kid does skate, bring the kid with you and we'll set something up for them. It turned out people were bringing kids that were skaters. But in the same sense, I monitored my floor every year. So I can't tell you the amount of parents I went to and said, look, he's going to get hurt. She's going to get hurt. This is not a floor for them. Right. They're more than welcome to come here, but the floor is too fast paced, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? That didn't deter them from coming back the next year. You know what it did to quite a few people? It made them go to more sessions so that kid could get better in a crowd of people. And some of those kids are still skating today. Yeah. So that was my whole concept behind that. Look, some of these kids that attended Eight Wheels are better than probably 40% of the adults I know at some of these sessions now. They got more skate etiquette. I mean, I know some adults that wouldn't have been good in that pack of 60, but yet that kid Jack was right in there. Yeah. I was impressed. You know, he shouldn't be held because of his age. He skates. He's a skater.
It's funny.
It meshed very well. Everything meshed very well. Look, it was 80% shuffle skaters.
Yeah.
But you had people there that weren't strictly shuffle skaters. And let's be honest, at every session I go to, every event I go to, all the way back to 5, 6, 7 years ago at USA Shuffle Skater event, Jeff Cooey's rink, there was people that weren't shuffle skating there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they should be allowed in there.
Yeah.
You know, they should be allowed in there. You know, it's everybody meshed great.
Oh yeah, yeah, and a lot of that I attribute to the DJs. You know what I mean? I think it's a magic that Tito somehow captures, man, where he can just keep every single style moving all night long, no matter what. But there's a couple of things that you said that jumped out at me. One was, so I had some major like concern in the week, like especially like I would like start and stop on promotion, right? and I don't even know if Jackie, if you picked up on it, but every once in a while I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm going to start promoting like this much at this point and everything. And my major thing was like, I don't have any like, cause we talked, Jackie and I talked about it. We don't want to use other event footage, right? Like it was never really an opportunity to get like Whitehall footage, you know, for promotion and stuff like that. At least that would be like, you know, kind of exciting, you know, used to build excitement and stuff. So I kept balking on it because I'm like, I don't know what else to do other than talk about it, right? But like what kept banging on my head and kept going is I don't want this to come across like I'm trying to be the face of this thing. Like I really didn't want that to, but like, so it was like, I don't know what to do, right? Other than that, right? But anyway, it's just funny that you mentioned that. Cause I hope to God it never came across like that. Cause that's
no, and absolutely. Look, you can't do everything. Like you can't do everything. Jackie can't do everything. So with you doing the promotion, you doing the videos, you doing the podcast was enough that you needed to do where she may have been doing some other things. You know what I mean? Like talking to Mindy and doing stuff like that. So that's what it's about. You know, that's how I did it. You know, I couldn't do everything. You know, that's why I had everything. I tried to keep her in the loop with everything I did so that she would know what to do in the future. You know, that's what it was. You know, look, I've been getting it for years. When you going to do it? I'm done. Like nobody ever believed me. I'm done. I'm done. It doesn't matter why, how, where. I was done in 18. I was done in 17. Jackie and Darlene talked me into doing 10 years. I was done at 9 years in 2017. They all talked me into doing that final year. Like, okay, 10 years and I'm out, blah, blah, blah stuff. But I was done. So everybody that comes to me, in fact, I messaged quite a few people this last week. And I said, yo, you weren't there Sunday. But yet every time I see you, you're asking me. But you weren't there Sunday. You know what I mean? So come on. It just because it wasn't my name on it, it was Jackie's name on it with Mark. That should have all been enough for you to say, let me go check it out. You know, because you've been asking me every time I see you multiple times a year. Come on, please, please, please. We need something up here. No, come on.
Well,
you had it.
Yeah, well, I can tell you though too and now look, I'm sure a lot of it is because like where my focus is, but I don't like. I think there's gonna be plenty of people that didn't go that probably feeling some type of way about it, especially because like nothing to do with myself or Jackie, like you guys at all. Just the people that went there. I have never seen the amount of video and feedback and just like trending in our own little world. Like that, like post event information, like I don't remember it. I don't remember seeing it. Now I've only been doing this for a few years, but holy shit. I mean, like it's crazy. Lacey put out more video like from that event than I've ever seen her do anywhere. It was crazy. And then, and the one thing I do want to mention is, because you're talking about the younger skaters there that call Whitehall home and everything. I will tell you, man, like how, like, the thing I'm so happy about was, one, I knew that, like, although we really wanted to do what we do and do and expose people to what happens in Lehigh Valley and all that kind of stuff, it was very important to me that I, especially as somebody that's not from this area originally, I didn't ever want it to feel to them like we were we were using them or their thing, right? It was more just about, we were celebrating it, really, is what we're doing. And to a person that never even crossed their mind. That was on my mind. It wasn't on their mind. But the number of people that came up to me between Saturday and Sunday and said, "Oh my God, thank you. This place hasn't been this like lit in years. Like it is crazy." And that's all I needed to hear, man. That's all I needed to hear, you know?
I've been saying it for a couple of years, like, just watching everybody that's rolling with Greg teaching everybody, the fact that Greg's still going, that whole atmosphere and the kids being interested and the younger kids tagging along, they just have something that the older skaters don't have anymore. They just don't have it. These kids will do anything to learn. And as you can see, the pack, everybody wanted to follow them. That was a deep pack for a long time. We haven't seen that in a while, especially at Whitehall. And Whitehall had some of the best late skates for years. For years. They were always great late skates, and the kids always came up. But now you have the older people drifting off, and you have these younger kids coming in. And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, so this 8 years or so between eight wheels may have actually helped. You know what I mean? Like, we had sessions continue after eight wheels. In fact, sessions were created when eight wheels stopped. You know, Jeff's session was created. You know, he asked me to help. There was certain sessions that were created when eight wheels stopped. Jim Park came to me, you know, but nobody actually picked up my format, my complete format. They picked my brain a little here and there. What should I do? How can I do it? How can we get the skaters out? And I'm kind of glad that nobody went 100% with the format. You know, you guys going with the kids, the food, I think that's a winning combination because, look, we didn't have any adults there that complained about anything this weekend.
Yeah, nothing. Not a single thing. Not a single thing. I
sat back and watched, listened, you know, talked to some people that had no clue who I was, like I said, you know, hey, is this your first time here? You know, stuff like that, which it's hysterical. And that's the way I want it. I want it like that, you know?
Man, well, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'll leave it open to you guys. But I tell you, so we went to dinner Friday. And we, every once in a while, whether you and I, Jackie, whether it's a side conversation or whatever I have with you, Rob, there are these moments where I'm like, oh shit, yeah, we're on the same page, man. Like I don't like, it's like not knowing people, but knowing people kind of thing, you know, and it was perfect time when we had this conversation at dinner before going there, where it was like, you know, you were like, you know, you have to decide what you want to do with this thing. Right. And it was crazy because I didn't know where you were going with it. I knew what I had thought about it, right? Which is really like kind of what your thinking was. Not that you were trying to direct me to do any particular thing at all, but like in the sense where it was like, if this ends up being as special as we hope it's going to be, or what we believe it will be, and it exceeded all my expectations, it's only going to stay that way by just being what it is, right? One time, right? Like the people already like, why do you wait a year? Because it's worth a year. It's worth waiting a year for this. You know what I mean? That's why. Like, and I don't want to go do anything else. Like, will I go and do, will I take Skate Like You to talk to skaters at events and all that kind of stuff? Hell yeah. But I don't,
Absolutely. It's good.
yeah, I don't want to do any other event. I don't want to make any other event. This is what I want to do. I want to do this because nothing has given me the feeling that I get doing this with you guys. So yeah, like I don't need to flood the gates with events or whatever. Like this
What
is
I
what
always
I want
said,
to do.
what I always said, and this is going back before Eight Wheels, we used to have a lot of good one month sessions, and then a couple of the managers and owners decided, hey, these sessions are great. Why don't we do it twice a month? Okay, that's a big mistake. Well, who are you? I'm a skater, and I'm telling you it's a big mistake. So now what happens is like a lot of people are about this choices thing. I'm not about the choice. If I have three different sessions on a Saturday night to choose from, and one is driving an hour, one is driving 15 minutes, and one is driving 30 minutes, to me, that makes no sense. I want all my friends and all my skaters on one floor. So if you give people a choice to do sessions on one side of the state or on another side of the state, to me, that's a mistake. And that's what happened with one of these sessions. They started doing it twice a month. Now what happens is people are like, well, I can't go on the first of the month, but I can go on the third of the month. So you have the same skaters now splitting up between two nights. It doesn't make it fun anymore, doesn't make it special. By doing it once a year, in my opinion, and there's no wrong or right way, people are going to do what they want to do anyway. But by doing these, like if you guys did it twice a year, you're going to have, say, the New Hampshire people say, well, okay, there's one 6 months from now. Let's go to that one, instead of going to the one in September. And guess what? Now you take the same amount of people. Let's say you're at 300 and you split them up between 6 months. So now you're down to 200 people at a session. Instead of them, I have a lot of friends, especially my North Carolina crew, that want to know a year before, so that they can put their dates in. They're not interested in twice a year. They're not interested in that. They want once a year. Nobody ever wanted me to do twice a year. Does it suck waiting a whole year? Hell yeah, it sucks waiting a whole year to see all those people. But it makes it all that more special. We packed the set. Look, you guys did a first event, first time, and you had that many people there. That I didn't. My first 8 wheels when I went private, I didn't have that vibe or that energy in there. So, you guys did something right. And a lot of it had to do with the podcast. A lot of it had to do with your advertising. You were out there. You put it out there. People were expecting it. That's the way it has to be. It's got to be special. If it's not special, it's not worth doing. That's just my opinion. A lot of people are going to disagree with that, but that is my opinion. It's got to be special in order for you to come out there.
Yeah. I totally agree. And
I think you're already ahead of the game. I think you guys made it special. I think the different style music, I think the floor energy, the videos that are going out now, the food, that food, people are like $20 to get in, and I'm getting food and water. That's that was always a big plus for me. It was always a big fight with the rink, that I was at previously, but it was a big plus. It made a big difference.
Yeah. There was a sense of gratitude about it from everybody there that I not that I didn't anticipate, but a level of gratitude that I didn't even like people like it like I said, it really seemed to add to that communal aspect of maybe it's an American thing. We just feed each other. You know what I mean? That's how we say I love you. You know what I mean?
Mark, I must have been crazy because all the years I did 8 wheels, I took every dime out of my pocket and put it back into that session. If I had money left over, I would go buy more food. I would order more pizzas. I must have been crazy, but it worked. It was never about the money. It was about the smiles on people's face, the energy in the building, and it growing every year. I mean, 2014, either 14 or 15, I had 550 people in the building. That's a lot of people, man. 17 different states. You know,
crazy.
that's a lot of people.
We're gonna get there.
To build from, I think, 50 people or something we started out with, you know, so you guys are going to build this nicely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're not going to play a small part in this. So please stop saying that. Please stop saying that.
Yeah, and I swear it's not a humble brag. It's really not. Like it's not that. I like I said, I just I meant it when I said like a lot of that comes from too me being away, and you guys are the ones that were here. Like I metaphorically or whatever. Like you guys kept the light on. You know what I mean? I stopped skating for years, you know, and I get to come back, and here's this thing like here waiting for me that I just get to join in on, you know. And I don't know. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't have gotten on a better train.
But that's how it started out also too. It started out small amount of people, reunion skate people. In fact, the first couple of years, we let rental skaters in as long as you were a skater, because people that were coming didn't have their skates anymore. You know, I think if you look at one of our original skates, I mean, one of our original shirts is the blue shirt that has Gone But Not Forgotten on it, and it has all the closed rinks in the surrounding area. It's funny because if you ever go to Branch Brook, Mike took that Gone But Not Forgotten and he put it on the walls at Branch Brook. So it's all the rinks that are on my shirt from 2000, I think 2011. And that's the way it was billed, you know, back then. It was for all the closed rinks, people that weren't skaters. So that's how it started. People like you that were away for so long and decided to come back, and it just snowballed. It just went from there. We were just looking to do something small, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And now, starting out like this with the kids and the amount of kids and the younger generation that's in there, that's what it's about. It's not about us 50 and 60-year-olds anymore. You know, we're going to do this for a couple more years. We're going to enjoy it. Greg Fuller is passing it on at his age. You know, we're not young anymore, and he's passing it on.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have that enough. You don't no matter where you go, you don't see that anymore.
No.
You don't see the older people schooling the young kids, and you don't see the young kids into it like that anymore.
Not to mention with utter humility and wanting no credit, you know what I mean? Like just doing it, just, I don't know, just for the love of it.
Because that's what happened with him, and that's what happened with me. You know, we were underneath the wings of the guys above us. That's what got me, you know, steamrolling into this, you know, and never stopping. You know, was the older guys that I learned from.
Right on, right on. Well, Jackie, is there anything else you want to throw out there? Anything you want to make sure you mention?
Save your dates for next year, guys.
Yeah.
2026, Skate Like No Brakes.
But no birthday next year. No birthday next year. My birthday is November 2nd. She tried to pull a fast one. It worked out great, but
so 10 years. We're the good thing is we have 10 years to make amazing plans for your 70th.
Yeah, I'll let you do that. Yeah, I'll let you do that.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you guys so much just for Jackie, thank you so much for asking me to be a part of this. It's literally the best thing I'm in. Like oh man,
thanks for saying yes.
Yeah, there was not even a question. Oh my God. This has been so much fun. So much fun.
You happy now you got me on screen?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I knew all I got to do is get you talking. You get Rob talking about skating and he ain't stopping. You know what I mean? So
What was it? What was it you said? He agreed to 5 minutes, but you can get 15.
Which
Now everybody will
just
know.
let him.
Now everybody's gonna know who I am.
But I'm saying, but when I say like, oh yeah, if I get 5 minutes out of him, it's not like he's gonna give me all the time. Like I'm not. Okay, I just sit back. You know what I mean? Let him go. I know once I get pull that cord. You know what I mean? Talk about skating, Rob. You know, I'm getting Tito. I'm getting Tito on, and nobody thought I'd get Tito on. I had to give him questions in it.
That was probably the last time I actually talked on his live show, was before Roller Jam closed.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I've only been on one other live production, and it was a friggin' disaster.
Well, this was great. This is great. Thank you very much for doing it. I know that's not your thing, man. I appreciate it very, very much. But all right, guys. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, I don't have anything else. This is gonna be a crazy, crazy episode. There's so many people I'm talking to. It's nuts, and so many people willing to do it. It's gonna be cool. So if you don't have time to watch a 20-minute shuffle line video, you're gonna need a couple weeks to watch this. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, good night.
I am here with the legend, the one and only DJ Tito Tee. How's it going, man?
What's up, Mark? How you doing?
I'm fantastic.
I can't believe I'm here on your show. I just can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. No one can believe it. Jackie couldn't believe it. Rob couldn't believe it. We'll give people a little bit of insight. So I've been asking Tito like off and on to hop on here. I think the first time I ran into the booth at Neville and I threw by you and you were like, "Fuck no, dude, I don't do that."
I didn't say that.
I mean, yeah, no, he didn't say that. He didn't say, but that was the attitude. I could tell that this is not what you do, man.
No.
Unless you're on the other side of the desk, basically.
If I was on your side right now sitting at your desk, right, and I'm doing the interview, I can do that.
Yeah.
I just can't be on the other side of the desk like I am right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing.
It's not though. I get it because so like for years, one of the things I did professionally was I used to have to travel and speak in front of large.
I could never do that.
Yes. Yeah. The biggest I've ever spoken in front of was like 10,000. Right.
That's a lot.
But here's the thing that I don't sweat it at all. You put me in a group of in front of 10 people and I'm freaking out because you can see everybody's reaction. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's just so much more intimate. They say that public speaking is literally like the number one fear of most people. It's like, yeah, it's the top fear most people have. And the funny thing is that number two is dying. Right. So, which is kind of crazy, which basically, that basically means that if you're going to be at a funeral, you'd rather be in the box than give it a eulogy. You know what I'm saying? Like
that is sick.
It's crazy.
You know what's crazy real quickly? I just did the PNC Theater in Jersey, something called Beat Stock. We had about 10 acts. One of them was Boy George, the Jungle Brothers. I mean, a whole bunch of acts. And I had the privilege of DJing on stage for 8,000 people. Normally, when I DJ, I'm in my comfort zone. That's. But over there, when I saw the audience out there, I freaked out.
Oh, really?
My friend wants. Oh, I freaked out. I had to do it. I went out there, but I was shaking. And it's like it's crazy though. It's just crazy. See, kudos to you, man. I could never do that.
Once you get in it though, and you're doing your thing, does that all fade away?
Right. No, it's the whole time I'm there.
Really?
The whole time it's crazy. The whole time I'm there DJing, and you see the crowd reacting. I can't do it because they're right there up front, and right in front of me. So that's like when I DJ, I like to be high up in the air, behind the curtain,
Yeah. Like the wizard, man. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, and man, no better place than Roller Jam for that. You know what I mean?
That was
bird's nest.
Setting. Absolutely perfect. So,
well, you know what's funny, and we'll get into we'll move on. But one more thing about this is that I could speak in front of hundreds, thousands of people. Okay,
right.
And I'm telling you, like if just for numbers, right? Let's say like I'm speaking in front of 500 people. 499 of those people I could see could be completely engaged, captivated, really into it.
Right.
There'd be one prick in the back, right? Just like, looking bored, yawning. And that's who I'm focused on the whole time.
Yeah.
But people could come up to me afterwards and be like, that was amazing. That was awesome. That was awesome. And I'll be driving home thinking about that one person in the back that looked bored as hell. You know what I mean? It's just so stupid. It's so dumb.
I know. It happens to me too, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, anyway, thank you again for coming on. We are here to talk about Skate Like No Brakes and just a few things. First off, thank you for doing it, man. I don't know how many of these things you listen to. Your name comes up on here a lot, dude. I'm always
really.
Oh, dude, I'm always singing your praises on here, man. You're
Thank you.
By far, like. So Big Daddy Ray, he was the first person a couple years back to tell me about Roller Jam, right? Because I'm not from here originally, and I got back into skating. He's like, yeah, you got to come check this out. You have to check this out. And I'm telling you, the night I walked in, because you go to that booth, the booths where you pay before you actually get in.
Before you walk,
it's like a door before the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm in the lobby area, and I just hear that thump, dude, just that whole And I said, you could ask Ray. I turned to him we weren't even in there. 3 seconds, and I was like, this is it. This is my spot. I knew it immediately, dude. Immediately. Right. So. Based on what I've heard, now you tell me, I don't know if this is right, but was Roller Jam the first actual DJing gig you had for skaters or at a rink?
It was my first, correct.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
How does that come about then?
All right. So at the time Roller Jam was being built, I had a nightclub called Illusions on Staten Island. Unfortunately, the club I had wasn't doing too good. I was in deep depression, and I had 2 other partners. And the guy that installed my sound system, Alex, was installing the sound system over at Roller Jam. And he came up to me and says, Tito, would you want to work at Roller Jam? I says, what the hell is Roller Jam? It's a skating ring. I said, hell no, I'm not going over to a roller. I said, no way. I'm a club DJ. I've never, DJ for skaters. He says, why don't you come in? Why don't you stop by? And I did. I walked right in, and I felt the same way you felt, because if the sound system was on, and I was like walking into a nightclub.
Mm-hmm.
And the lighting, the sound, and I went up to the DJ booth, and they had a small controller, which I got used to. Actually, no, I was playing CDs at the time.
Okay,
I didn't have Serato, digital Serato, so. I got into it, and the owner, Joe Costa, said, would you want to work here? I said, I'll give it a shot, just to take my mind off what was going on at the nightclub.
Okay.
That's what I was doing. It was trying to, and it worked. And I was feeling good about myself, and it was like therapy. And then my first adult night, Saturday night. Now, I'm thinking in my head, I'm going to play the stuff I play in the nightclub. So I started playing that. So what happened was I'm DJing, and for the late skaters, the skaters, shuffle skaters, and the guy I gave him the name The Godfather, and that's Rob Cusmano.
Okay, all right.
So Rob comes up, you have to kiss his ring, stuff like that, and I said, who the hell are you? Well, I run this joint. I said, oh really? Now he was like, This is a true story. So he was telling me, what songs I should be playing. Some of the songs he was throwing at me, I didn't have in my library. So, but he was telling me, next time you come, just have these songs ready. Have these songs. Yeah. Now, I mean, at first he gave me one was what do you call that? Not a religious song, kind of like, talking about Jesus and stuff like that. I'm saying,
Kirk Franklin? Is he giving you Kirk Franklin?
Yeah, that's it, Kirk Franklin.
Okay.
Now, Shackles, I think the name of the song was Shackles. And I'm saying, are you crazy? He goes, try it, play it. And I did. And it went over. And I was like, he introduced me to Fandango. stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so I started just picking it up. And at the time, Joe Cosmo had hired Julio, DJ Julio, may he rest in peace. DJ Julio was a big DJ in the city at a place called the Roxy. And he came on board, and I went there to listen to him, and I got some pointers off him. I mean, he helped me out through the whole time. And I just started picking up songs, looking for new songs. And it just worked out. But the difference at Roller Jam was we had the shuffle skaters, we had the Roxy skaters, we had the parties that will want to hear Elton John or Madonna or Billy Joel or whatever, stuff top 40. And I had to mix all that in together. I had to make that work. It wasn't easy. So, because you had to please the shuffle skaters. You had the Roxy skaters, the JB. At the time, they weren't called JB skaters. They were called Chicago skaters.
Right.
And it was like, but you know what? I made it work. And that's what the term roller jam style music came from. And that's putting all that stuff together, and they called it roller jam music. And a lot of guys like Jeremy Hans from Whitehall and Matt Hatter were coming down, and Jimmy Jam from Skate 47. And it was they were very interested in how I put it together. And, and they started doing it, So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Well, so one is you already answered the next question I had, which was, did you have any reservations of DJing a Rink? And you definitely, sounds like you did. Like at first you were like, no, I'm not.
No, at first there was no way. No way. But I fell in love with it. I seen the passion. I mean, these skaters, I call them the shuffle skaters. And they're like, I mean, they loved. I mean, you had to see their faces, and I got so into it, watching them skate. And that, and that inspired me. I did it for 17 years at Roller Jam.
Yeah.
Straight, 17 years.
Well, and so when you talk about when you say the roller jam, kind of style or whatever of the music, right? And other DJs kind of picking up on that vibe. When I tell you that your name comes up on here a lot, the main thing that I always say about you, and skating, anywhere where you're at is it's amazing to me that you have other DJs that are skaters, right? Because you're not a skater, right?
No.
So that are skaters, they're going in there and they're not complete. It's not like they're biting off of what you do, but there's there's clearly a formula that works. Because my point being is what always comes up, what I'm always saying on here is I have yet to experience a skating environment where I go and a DJ has every single skate style on that floor all night long, all vibing to the same stuff, right? Like most of the time you go to a session, an event, whatever, there are going to be times where through the night where different skate styles are going to be more represented on the floor at different times, just based upon the set that the DJ's playing, right? Just caters to their style. What you seem to do better than I've ever seen, right, or experienced, is you are able to keep all those different, whether it's jam, whether it's JB, whether it's shuffle, whether it's freestyle, whatever, every single person is vibing the entire night, man. Like that's a pretty major thing.
It is. It's just a gift that thank God that I have. And I enjoy doing it. I just enjoy playing the freestyle, the house, the disco classics, the R&B, the hip hop, the JB, all that stuff. I just love playing it. And it's not just about mixing it. It's programming it, when to do it, the right time. That's a factor. It's, programming is a big part of DJing, putting music together,
Yeah. And being able to respond too, if it's not working. You know what I mean?
Right. And if it's not working, when do you, transition to something else? Knowing when to do it. That's another, big part of it, but like I said, I love doing it, playing for the skaters. I enjoy it a lot.
And here's the thing. So, I know nowadays everybody's a DJ, right? But and I don't know like how much of this you followed, but like, I mean, my first, like my older brother was like a b-boy, like way back in the day. He brought home the Herbie Hancock, the rocket tape, when I was a little kid. And he's playing this thing for me, and I hear DST like doing the baby scratch on that thing.
Right.
But I don't know what I'm trying to like. What is that sound? What is that sound? He's trying to tell me what it is, right? A few years later, I see like this Grammy performance for Herbie Hancock and DST's doing a thing, and it's like, oh, that's what that is, right? So I start mowing lawns. I got a single turntable, like with a busted tone arm. But I got into turntablism in a big way. And I grew up at a Rink. It's funny. I DJ'd in my bedroom. I only played music at the Rink, like it wasn't until I started getting into like mobile gigs and then doing like bars, where actually like when the Rink, I never was a DJ. And it's funny because I could DJ, but I just didn't DJ. I just played music. And I guess where I'm going with this is that the fact is I don't think that DJing in any venue is ever necessarily easy. It's the one job where you're never going to please everybody, no matter what.
100%. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. But like the fact is that because I see it this isn't my opinion. I see this happen at rinks all the time. Okay. Where they might not even have a DJ. They'll just throw on a Spotify thing or some shit. My point is that rinks can have success basically just phoning it in when it comes to music. What I see you do though, and when I say success, I don't mean the same level, right? Like that Roller Jam was and all that. I'm not talking about it. I just mean they can manage, right? But the fact is that like my experience skating when you're in the booth, man, is like I feel like you're up there doing the absolute best that you could possibly do. And here's the thing. There's a lot of DJs that, DJ clubs and whatever that wouldn't necessarily take a rink seriously, right? They'd be like, this is easy. This is whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
I never get that feeling with you at all. Do you enjoy it just as much as you do the club, or is there one more? Or?
This is the thing. I don't DJ as much now for the skaters. With the Roller Jam being closed. And I have to do more of the clubs. But after a while, the clubs becomes it becomes boring. For me, it becomes boring. I'm doing it every week now.
Yeah.
And when I went to, it's funny because last week, I did 6 events. 6. On the way to Pennsylvania, I was dead, mentally and physically. I was drained. But I was getting so much feedback from the night before. It was all positive. Mad Hatter, Hops, they did an awesome. I mean, I was getting it all the way there. I was reading the messages and stuff like that, the texts. How great they did, and I'm feeling like, oh no.
I gotta top this shit.
I'm going, oh no, I can't do this. I'm too tired. I'm not ready. When I walked into the building, I met with Sean, the Mad Hatter, and he's right away, Tito, you're gonna kill it. I can't wait to skate, blah blah blah. And I'm looking at him, really? And I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. But as the day went on, and I'm seeing the guy, the people, the shuffle skaters and the train, they would, I was into it. I really got so into it. And, it was a great experience. It was a great experience.
Yeah. Cause I did want to ask you just like, and maybe there's nothing else to say about it, but like, but yeah, I mean, kind of give me your thoughts about Skate Like No Brakes. I mean, knowing it was like the first one, right? Did you have any concern about attendance or anything like that?
I did not. And I'm going to tell you why. The amount of the way you market it, I mean, you were a marketing genius. You were pushing this from here to, and I kept watching you every day. You were on it, kid. No, but that's what you have to do. Listen, I have 2 two companies that, entertainment companies. And I have people that market for me. And what I was watching you do was I want him on my team. I want a guy like you on my team. It was like crazy. Mark and Jackie. I mean, you guys killed it. You guys killed it. And I wasn't expecting that many people on Sunday. And Sunday was pretty, I mean, that was great. Because nobody came for Rob's birthday. Nobody likes Rob, Rob, I'm only kidding, Rob. But listen, I love Jackie. I love her to death. I've seen her grown right in front of my eyes. I just love her. And she told me, and I already knew about you. I was already following you on TikTok, believe it or not. And I think you keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you guys doing, because it's sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
So every time, you're right. I was hitting it hard. What's funny is there's a couple of things about that. One is that I really try to take a humble position based on the fact that I'm coming into this thing with Rob and Jackie and what they meant to the skate community with 8 Wheels, No Brakes. I mean, like that's like a thing was a religion to people, right. And so, I would keep telling Jackie like a few months before, I'd be like, okay, so like in about 2 weeks, I'm going to really start hitting the marketing thing and promoting and promos and all that kind of shit on social media. And every time I would get to that point again, the problem is that we didn't have any type of event footage there was no other Skate Like No Brakes. We didn't have Whitehall footage. I didn't want to go use other footage from other events that I've been to, different rinks and all that stuff. So it was like, I don't know what the hell to do. Right. Like, so it was like, I was telling Jackie, I was like, I think I just kind of have to talk people into the fucking place. I don't know what else to do. Right. Like we don't have it. But I also was really like, I didn't want it to come across like I was trying to be the face of some shit. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want it to come across that way. And then the other thing was, so I kept saying to her, yeah, I'm going to start this time. And I just wouldn't start. I kept pushing it off. I said, look, I think maybe the recipe is like, I'm going to do a couple of months. And then like the last 2 weeks, I'm just going to every single day.
Right.
And so, but the other funny part about it was every time I put something up, I don't give a shit who else I tag. But like, I'm like, man, I hope fucking Tito isn't getting annoyed with this shit. I'm tagging him.
Listen, Mark, I feel the same way. Every morning when I get up in the morning, I'm tagging people. The same people every morning.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. That's part of your job. Tagging people, messaging people, whatever it takes to get that message across.
Yeah.
And that's what you did. You got the message across. Look at the turnout you guys did on Saturday and Sunday. It was a great event. Great. Yeah, man. Awesome.
How do you think this? Look, maybe there aren't any major differences, but now you do Steel City. Do you do any other events at all?
Well, I did a couple of I think for Big Daddy Ray.
Oh, Big Daddy Ray, of course. Yeah,
I've done his events. I'm doing one with him.
Coming up, Philly Fan Bash. Yeah.
Yep, in Philly. I'm playing with AJ Funk, which is Andy Rivera. I'm playing with him. I've done it with Mayhem.
Yeah.
Working with Mayhem I love that guy. That guy is, I didn't know him from Adam.
Sweetest dude.
We worked great together. It was a perfect combination.
Yeah.
So, but it worked out. And I also worked out with Phil. From Skate 47, great guy, and again, I worked with Jace, I've worked with Sean, all good guys.
So just before everybody busts my balls, yes, I know that Tito worked Philly a bunch of times. Like I've been to all of them. I did know that. I just kind of assumed that we were both on the same page with that, like between Steel City and Philly. Yes. So I was trying to find out if you did anything else, people, before you like start jumping on me. Like, how do you not know he's doing the events you go to? That's what I'm going to get. I'm going to get all that bullshit. So, but what I really was wanted to ask you though, was there a difference like with Skate Like No Brakes than any other things that you've done before?
Was there any difference? I felt like, well, first of all, working at Roller Jam for so many years and working in, with that sound system,
Mhm.
and that vibe over there would be nothing like it. I don't care what they do, Xanadu, and I don't mean anything bad by that. It's just there's nothing can replace Roller Jam.
Yeah.
We're going into Whitehall, it's not just the place, it's the people. And that's what makes it exciting, the skaters, and at the end of the day, it's like, I had a great time. Awesome. I had a great time, man. So it's not the place. It's just the people that I'm playing for. You guys did an awesome job putting it together. And I know it takes a lot. And for being the first event, I would love to keep doing it again and again and again, because I like, it was a great experience doing it. And, listen, like I said, I love Jackie. We just got met, you and I just met recently, and I, can't wait to keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, if you're like my top pick at all times, I mean,
thank you. Thank you.
One, I mean, because like I said, you're able to do things across all styles of skaters to keep them all entertained and having a good time. And also, you just do I'm from New England, right? Like now, Granted, I'm not a Yankees fan by any stretch, right? But the thing is there's a Northeast pump. There's a Northeast spot. Like I'm about like a head nod kind of thing. I don't need to do a 130 BPM all night long. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What you do is what I love, dude. Like, it's just what I love. So yeah, it's just, and I think what the reason I wanted you, Jace, Hops, was because for anyone that was going to travel up this way to come to us, I want them to experience what this is up here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like what we do. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anybody reps that better and represents what we do better than you, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All sincerity.
Thank you. Like I said, I love doing it. And like I said, I'll do it again and again. And being a part of something like Skate Like No Breaks, it was an awesome experience. And like I said, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Well, and the last thing I'll say is you gave me so I got two compliments throughout the course of the weekend. Okay. One I heard from a lot of people and one I only heard from one person. And what's funny is they were both equally amazing and made me just feel so good. The first was I got from a lot of people was, thank you so much for bringing this here. Whitehall hasn't been this lit in forever. You know what I mean? That was the first thing.
Right.
And then, because you can ask Rob and Jackie, they'll tell you that I really have a difficult time kind of accepting any credit for this. I really try and I think people come for Rob and Jackie. I think they come for the 8 wheels, no brakes nostalgia. I think that's what they're there for, right? And Rob and Jackie are always
that's a part of it. Yeah, but
yeah. So they're always trying to convince me to just take a little more credit. But you had come up to me that night, Sunday. And and you were like, I think basically you said, here, you're a fucking marketing genius. You know what I mean? And I tell you what, man, no, cause here's the thing. A lot of people have given me a lot of kudos or whatever on that end, but I tell you what, man, and maybe it was just cause, maybe it was because we don't know each other that well. And you don't need to say something like that to me, Right. But I tell you what, when I heard that from you, man, it meant so much. You know what I mean? I really, it was the first time I really felt like, man, I played a role in making this happen,
100%. Yep.
So thank you for saying that, man. You didn't have to go out of your way and say anything.
I'm old school. So what I told you that night came from the heart.
Yeah. Well, I could feel that.
100%. 100%. Because if I didn't feel it, I wouldn't have said anything to you. We would have shook your hand and just left and said good night to you. But I had to say that to you because I was taken back by the effort, and I know I'm in the business. I know how hard it is. It's hard, and then there's many times I've done parties and I every day I pushed it and I didn't get the turnout. And I'm saying to myself, it's me, you know, what did I do? But, you know, this is your first time doing something like this. And look at the outcome.
Yeah.
So you killed it. You hit a home run, brother.
Well, I tell you, the other end of not being able to, where taking credit for it is difficult is because I love doing it. I enjoy it too much. So it doesn't feel like a bunch of hard work. You know what I'm saying?
It's in your blood.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to do it more. I would love to do this more. You know what I mean? I got to figure out a way to get paid on this shit. You know what I mean? I always tell people I'm just avoiding adult responsibility with this bullshit. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, again, it was a pleasure, and I was an honor to be, you know, to actually be part of Skate Like No Breaks. You know, when she first came out to me, I said, hell yeah, I want to be a part of it, man. Because for me, it's not about the money.
Yeah,
it's not. I'll be honest with you. It's you know, it's something I love doing, and being surrounded by good people, because that's you know, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
people, you know.
Yeah, and definitely, and I definitely felt like I was surrounded by a bunch of really passionate, awesome people all weekend long, for sure.
Yeah, I worked for at Sean's Rink a couple of times, I think twice. And it was cool that he asked me, and the hospitality was always there. He always treat me, you know, always good. And but this Sunday there was no comparison to the times I worked before there. That Sunday was the vibe was for me from beginning to end. That's 100%. How I felt.
No, I completely concur with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. I know there are people that came up to me after and they were like, there were times where they said they just look at me and they just like watch me because I was just standing there watching, you know, and they knew that like I was just genuinely like happy about what I was seeing and experiencing. You know what I mean? You
should be proud of yourself, man. You put it together. That's everything that you watch and experiencing. It was because of you and Jackie. You know, that's big.
Yeah, man. Well, you were a massive part of it, man. You always are. If there's ever anything that I'm going to be involved with, you know, that requires a DJ, you're going to be up. My hand's going up for you first, always.
Well,
no matter what.
Appreciate one request though, brother. One request. A bottle of Tito's vodka. That's it. I'm good.
Easy. Easy. That's it? Shit.
That's it.
Man. I'm going to get a pallet, you know what I mean? And just
I'm going
to have it sitting at my door so I just grab one anytime I'm on the way out where I'm going to go where you're at.
That's great. Awesome. I'm in.
All right, man. Well, hey, is there anything you want to throw out there? Anything else you want to promote? Let anyone know about? Mike's yours.
All right. I tell you, I got so much stuff going on that doesn't regard skating. So I'm not going to get into that part. I'm actually doing the 40th year anniversary for freestyle music over at the Hard Rock Hotel in Atlantic City, November 15th. That's going to be huge. It's you know, it's a concert with all the freestyle artists: TKA, Judy Torres, Alyssa Melendez, Rob Bass is in it, a whole bunch of people.
Damn.
That's at the Hard Rock, November 15th. Big Daddy Ray, I'm not sure of the date. Do you have that? I should have had that in front of me. The Philly thing that he's doing in Philly.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Ray.
The first weekend of November?
He's going to kill me because I should have had it. Yeah, I should have had it in front of me.
I should too. Podcast is supposed to be there. We're going to edit this. Don't worry about it. Anyway. All right. I know he promotes just as much as I do, so I know it's going to be.
Yeah, he's good too.
Okay. Why is the dates not?
It might be the 27th.
November 7th through the 9th. Philly Fan Skate Bash.
There you go.
Yeah. 3 nights. What next week?
I'm doing Saturday at Philly.
Okay.
And I'm working with DJing with AJ Funk.
Yep.
That should be interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. I like that rink. A really nice rink.
That's a big spot. A lot of space to fill with noise in that place, man. It's a big spot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Tito, again, thank you so much for somebody who claims that they're going to be a nervous wreck on this thing, man. This is flawless.
Don't you see that? Don't you see that?
This was flawless, dude.
Listen, Mark, I love you. I really do. But don't ever ask me again.
This is all like, first off, okay. So there's a part of me that like, look, there's a reason why certain things work and certain things, you know what I mean? Like, cause I was like, I gotta push just a little bit, just a little bit.
And you did.
And here we are. And look, that's enough for me. I don't need an hour and a half, 2 hour Tito exclusive episode. That's all good.
Right.
This was amazing. Thank you so much for everything.
It was my pleasure.
All right, Tito.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too, brother.
Bye.
Bye.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, it's Mark, Sk8LikeYou podcast, SK8LikeYou.com. I am here with the one and only, finally, Greg Fuller. How's it going, Greg?
Good, yourself?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm stoked to have you on. This is like one of the most impossible gets, man.
It's a little weird for me, but I'm ready, I think.
So for those of you guys that don't know, I've been trying to land Greg. I'm trying to nail him down for, I don't know, about a year now.
At least.
So I'm super grateful though that you hopped on here, man. I gotta ask, because this is one of the things I definitely want to talk about before you got to jump off here is, how long were you doing the 8 wheels no brakes thing? Like, how many of those did you attend? Pretty much all of them?
No, I wish. I came in late to the game on that. My first one that I think I got, the shirt I had on Friday night was 2013. I think that might have been the first one. Maybe I went the first year and didn't even get a shirt. I didn't even know what 8 wheels no brakes was. I was already starting to go to, to back up a little bit, a lot of these Oregon skaters that I was skating with were pestering me about they were going to do some type of documentary video. I don't know if you've ever seen it, called Just Rolling Along.
Yep.
And they wanted me to go be a part of that. And I was like, I don't know. I was dragging my feet. Like, it's same thing with doing the interview with you. I'm like,
yep.
I don't do that. Like, I'll just, I'll sit back and watch, but I don't know that I want to be a part of something. But I went to Roller Jam and I really enjoyed that. So I started going up there a little bit with a local guy who went up pretty frequently, and a couple other people.
But 8 wheels, how many of them did you do? For some reason, I thought you were like at all of them.
Oh, I wish. When somebody came up to me at Roller Jam one night and said, "Are you going to 8 wheels, or are you coming to 8 wheels?" I said, "What the hell's that?" Crazy. The place is packed, and there's people like working, and somebody even told me there was bloodshed, and I was like, some kind of derby thing? What is it? 8 wheels, no brakes. And I'm thinking, no brakes in the music, like no brakes on your skates. Like, what does that even mean? And I went and I found out, and I was like, this is my thing. Like, this is definitely my thing. Like, this is where it all happens. And Rob has me on a video somewhere talking about the event, and I said, this is the Super Bowl of shuffle skating right here. Like, this is the climax of the year is there. And so it was so funny because just like this past weekend, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I skated so hard, my legs are killing me, but when can we do this again? That seemed to be the common thing that everybody was talking about, was, when can we do this again? Do we really have to wait a whole year? And I remember talking to Rob and saying, why are you making everybody wait a year? You should do this more often. We had like other sessions, but not of that magnitude. First Friday was Cherry Hill. First Saturday, it was every Saturday at Roller Jam. You couldn't pick a bad Saturday to go Roller Jam back then, but first Saturday ultimately ended up like kind of becoming a thing at Roller Jam where everybody came. Third Friday was Franklinville, now Skate 47. Third Wednesday, they had a late skate every Wednesday at the Palace or the Skateplex. But third Wednesday just seemed like it was when all the old schoolers came out and the new schoolers. It was a much more packed night on that third Wednesday. Every Sunday at Christiana was a good night. And honestly, that session to me hadn't even changed a bit, even down to most of the music that was being played. I went there in the late 80s and early 90s, and we would travel and just we'd get a carpool of 6 cars and go either to Christiana or that Skater's Choice session. We love to go down to that session. We had an accident on 76 right in Philly one night. Somebody just abandoned a car in the passing lane right close to where the stadiums are, and we all like had a little tiny bump and fender bender type thing. But it's a wonder we didn't get killed or anything. We all still went skating, didn't let it ruin our night, but it was a little scary there for a little bit.
So I think the basically, from what I've heard from you so far was like, that your legs were, you got worn out over the weekend, which is always good to hear. But I really was interested in hearing from you that, like, especially like, I mean, I know what we were trying to achieve with this thing, you know what I mean? And I mean, like for you, what, like, cause and I respect your opinion, you know what I mean? Like completely, obviously, I told people, like, and everyone knows it's not a mystery. Like we're never going to replicate 8 Wheels No Brakes. I was never even there, so I wouldn't know how to do that anyway. You know, Jackie would, but that's impossible, right? But there was a thing I think that we were trying to capture. You know what I mean? And also my thing, going back to this thing about like my experience first going to Bethlehem and out in Lehigh Valley, where it was like for me, and I'm not hating on anything like any other place. I go to events everywhere. I love going to places, and I love DJs from here, there, everywhere. They're most of them my friends, you know. But like I felt like, man, like if we're gonna do something here, let's do it here, like it is here. You know what I'm saying? And because I think that is enough. I think people come experience this, just what you guys are doing here, what happens here. And that's more than enough. You know what I'm saying? And it will work. It will work. We don't have to do anything else. We just like come experience this vibe. And I don't know, man, I would just love to hear what your thoughts were about the event.
The weekend was as good as anybody could expect. And it's constantly evolving. There's people that I wish I would have seen there that weren't there, but for every person that's missing, there's a whole new group. Like I said, I'm so used to the evolution of friendships, new people to the ring. And I welcome that, I still miss people that don't come. Some of them don't come because of health reasons. Some of them just don't want to travel that far, or their work doesn't allow them to. Some people can't just stay up that late sometimes. And I like the fact that the Sunday event is a little earlier for that reason. I'm sure everybody can appreciate that a little bit. We've always kind of just got, even with the organ events, some of those organ events, those organists on some of those events would start playing at like 6 o'clock at night. And some of those events back then would go to 4 o'clock in the morning. Can you imagine that? Like, holy mackerel. Yeah. We think we're in shape.
Yeah. And we did one all-night skate a year on New Year's Eve at my rink as a kid, and that was it.
When I grew up, we had those at every major holiday. Like you would have one for New Year's, you'd have Thanksgiving, maybe even like Memorial Day and Labor Day sometimes, because everybody would have, you either weren't in school or were just getting out of school or whatever. But all the big holidays, usually there was a late skate somewhere we could go to. Sometimes they were back to back. I used to get stuck. Thanksgiving, we would skate a late skate anywhere. Almost everybody had one on Thanksgiving. But I worked at Greenfield, and the Amish would come in there then on Thanksgiving Day. On that night. So I had like 2 of them back to back, and they would skate. And of course I was working, so I couldn't have any fun, but to do 2 back to back like that, oh my gosh. And we've done sessions like that. I know Sunset was one of the last ones that I remember. They still had like a regular Saturday night late skate, and every now and then they would we didn't even do like lock-ins back then. Your parents were totally cool with just dropping you off, and you were in the care of whoever was running the rink, you know what I mean? Yeah. But as things evolve, the mischief and the crime and the bad attitudes with the kids not being told what to do.
No.
I mean, you were almost humiliated if you got yelled at by a floor guard when I was growing up. You know, you didn't want that. That was shameful.
Bob Dyer owned the rink that I went to, and we were fortunate in the sense that like over the years, the Dyers just became family. You know, like I would go spend weekends at their house and then just go to the rink with him the entire weekend and stuff. But yeah, man, he would, I tell you what, if the last thing that you ever wanted to hear was like your name over the microphone from Bob.
Oh yeah.
It's all it took. It wasn't anything crazy. We just, they all called me Marky back then. Right. So Marky. And that's all I needed to hear. And I knew that meant I had to sit on the bench for 15 minutes.
Yeah, your head was down low and you were doing the walk of shame.
I was benched for 15 and that was it. That's all it meant, But dude, I tell you what, man, one of the craziest things though this weekend that I saw, and you actually mentioned, I think, in the comments of something. And now I never saw anything like this, dude. But like, now the best of my ability, I counted.
Oh, the line.
Dude. So Marco actually has a really good video of it on YouTube right now where it's 20 plus minutes. 65 people. Man, I've never
the YouTube yet for the videos from the weekend. I'm still looking on Facebook for a bunch of them.
I'll shoot you a link to it. But I've never seen anything like that. And what's funny is I was out like talking to people at that point, taking pictures and whatever, and just trying to be a host, like it's funny is I skated way more than I thought I would. Right. I thought I was going to have to like just all over the place.
Working. Yeah. You feel like you're going to be working. That was always a complaint with the events we were doing for a while is you'd spend half the night, you got 2 or 3 nights to skate at these events. And everybody wants their T-shirts, but nobody comes and gets them. And you're standing there all night waiting to sell these T-shirts. And you see the people that are supposed to get them, but they would rather skate than get their shirts. And you're like, well, I'm standing here waiting for you to get the shirt. And I would like to skate too. We ended up cutting that off. Like you only get the shirts like the first hour of the session. And then
hell yeah, dude. But yeah, so then I noticed what's happening. And cause really what it was is like, I took notice and then like my attention's over here and then I come back and I'm like, it's the same exact people in the same order. Like this, so this isn't like another lot. Like this is not stopping.
Yeah. Like, that's pretty amazing considering like the caliber of all the different skaters. Some of them probably aren't even used to skating with each other or that close to each other or the intimidation factor. And I tell everybody, the kids, as a kid, you are in the back and eventually you kind of work your way up to the front as you get older and get better. You start the pack and don't even realize how many people are behind you. But once you look back and see that, it's almost like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You better watch what we're doing here. Somebody could get hurt, trying to maintain that pace without getting carried away and feel like you're being pushed, or trying not to dive into the corner too deep where people hit the wall, or cut too short that you're cutting other skaters off as you come out of the corner. That's all, all that stuff comes into play. I love skating a full house session. And I'm sure a little bit of that intimidation factor and scary. Those nights at Roller Jam, just like the final night up there, that was absolutely insane. But
I loved it.
A lot of our sessions growing up were similar to that crowd wise. Like it's almost like watching any of those old like Roller Boogie or Skate Town USA. I mean, that kind of crazy stuff. You talk to Kojak down there in Georgia. Mm-hmm. I can tell like that's just the lifestyle those guys have. Like that was their era too. You know what I mean?
They're
like,
shoulder to shoulder, like in that.
Oh yeah, we used to have an arm around each other, or we'd be like right on each other's hip, and you're like, how do you even move your feet when you're that close to people? You're stepping over each other.
I had a blast that last night at Roller Jam, and because that's the funny thing, like, because I talk to people and people like, you either loved Roller Jam or you hated Roller Jam, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because but like the last night, man, there's like a few different times throughout the night though. Like where either I jump in with Evan Runfola, and we are just everywhere, right? And not just trying to race between people. Like for me, like being more of a freestyle skater anyway, like I love the challenge of being in a crowd and being able to kind of
navigate through it.
Yeah, and but on beat, like utilizing it, right, to accommodate style rather than distract from it or detract from it, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with Nathan Edwards. He's another one that night where
with Nathan.
I love that dude.
Out of Pittsburgh, we had a blast.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, man, this dude, you're not shaking this dude. He is there step for step with you. And not that I'm trying to shake him, but I'm just doing my thing. And sometimes there's a lot of times where people will drop out, and I'll actually pick up the pace and go faster just to burn myself out, and then I'll go take a break. But I always want to be the last one on the floor, sometimes.
Nathan is deceptively fast, right? Because he's optimized for speed, right? He does everything right for speed, right? Like
it's built for speed.
Yeah, well, because it's the slow, methodical movements that generate that speed. It's not the frantic, stuff. And he does that perfectly. He's graceful as hell, man. Really, if you watch him.
We even talked about that. I think it was the first night, Saturday night. There was a long period in the middle where the tempo was a little on the slower side, and I love that tempo. I'll skate to that all night long. But we would already kind of maintain that speed around the rink, so we're shuffling slower, but we're still going as fast as we were. And I said to him, this is where you burn your muscles, man. And we were like, yeah, this is gonna get you cooking. If you keep skating like this is gonna cook you. And that's what it was for me that first night. I went to bed and I was afraid to move during the night. Every time I felt like I was gonna move, I was like, here comes the leg cramp, here it comes.
I had him Sunday.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm still feeling it today a little bit. Like luckily I had a fairly easy week here. It wasn't too brutal on me. My wife, I made it through the night Friday night. And then when she woke up, she said, I got a leg cramp in the middle of the night. I'm surprised I didn't wake you up. But yeah, we were all tuned up from it. It was a good night, good exercise. The social part of it, you can't beat that. Nathan and I think we started skating the first year at Pittsburgh that I met him. We were at Valley over there at Denora. And I asked him, I said, are you going tomorrow night? And I think he said, yeah. And then we just skated a lot together the next night. But he had asked me at some point, the other question a lot of people ask me is they want to learn how to tap like that, the stomp and the taps that we do. And that is definitely not something you just learn overnight. I can show you a few tips and tricks to get you started, but you never really perfect it. You just kind of ad lib through it. Everybody has.
It feels like more like a feel thing to me, because and not that I'm doing it in the same manner or whatever, but I unconsciously have done that for forever. You know what I mean? Not even thinking about it.
Because you hear not everybody, but there's enough people doing it that you're if you're new to skating, you're like, what is that guy doing? And then you realize there's a couple people doing it. And it's so usually all synchronized on beat together. So they're clearly trying to do it. But what is it? What is that? I said, well, did you guys used to tap dance? What is that? Is it a river dance on skates? What is that?
Tell you what,
it's always been that way. It's what it is.
I think you probably know somebody that it's louder, but man, Alan Baker.
Yeah.
Dude, that I've never heard somebody stomp so loud, tap so loud in my life.
Yeah, I sank a pivot pin Saturday night. And that's those skates are like sports cars. You pay a lot of money for them, but there's a lot of wrenching goes on behind the scenes to keep them running like that sometimes, and they come out of adjustment real quick when you're pounding the crap out of them like that.
Yeah, man. That's that. And I remember asking you about that too, because like you guys just, I mean, slam, dude. Like when you're coming down on those jumps and everything. And it's just, I'm just
Everything was
like,
about that flair. You know, it's one thing to be able to do any one part of that, but to do it all together, it was always about how funky you could get. Like even a simple 3-turn or a mohawk turn. Anybody can just do a simple mohawk turn or a 3-turn. You got to put some flair into it and make it look funky. You know?
With the tits. Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about that because I didn't want to bring that up, but yeah,
dude, it's much worse. Much worse has been said on here. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I wasn't going to go there, but since you opened the door, let's barge in. We'll talk about that a little bit. You know, that split we do at the end, I believe a lot of those numbers are strategically timed that, let's say you and a couple buddies are shuffling around beside us and we do a 3 or a 1 or a 1.5 regular. All three of those numbers are the exact same length and the exact same beats per maneuver. When we turn around and come out of that, if we don't do the split at all, we can jump right back on the shuffle beat with you guys. And it's very methodical how somebody put the time and effort into thinking about this stuff to the music. It's almost like the dance steps, watching everybody doing dance steps and they're in unison, except this is way funkier and just so hypnotic that you don't even think about it. Like we get on the floor, we don't even think about it. It just happens, you know? And when you get to that, that's when it really becomes fun because it's not work anymore. It's just, you know, it's like walking. But the hours you put in to get to that point are crazy sometimes.
So let me just, and I know this is a really tough thing to kind of dwindle down, but like if there's a couple, like people that see these videos, you know, see you guys, these jumps, these spins, these things, are there things that like, you know, maybe they're not around this area or whatever, but like, are there maybe like a couple things you could say, like, as far as basics that like, hey, figure these basic things out. Like, okay, for example, like I would assume, right, that probably one of the most fundamental things that somebody could go out and if they can master this, it's going to make their life a whole lot easier, is learn how to pivot on both feet, one at a time, both directions. Is it, you know what I mean? Like, but stuff like that. Are there things that you could tell people, like, say, hey, you know what? A, B, C, like you just practice these things and you can add the funk later. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Even like trying to get people to just, you know, maybe they're a pretty good skater forward, but they've never really had an interest in skating backwards. You've pretty much got to conquer that first before you think about doing any of the pivots. Like,
there you go.
But to get into that, you know, and Dirty Deborah has her channel on there, you know, where she, which is awesome, you know, and there's plenty of other people probably that have them too. That's the stuff you learn in your advanced basic, you know, right after you get done your free beginner lessons, you know, your first couple times to the rink. A lot of rinks used to offer, and some of them still do, like you go early on a Saturday before matinee, they'll offer free learn to skate classes. What they usually teach you first is how to fall, how to get up without using your hands or getting your fingers run over, and just to push with one foot and see how far you can roll on one foot. And from there, some people call them bubbles, some people call them scissors. I grew up calling them scissors. How to make your body move forward without lifting your feet even off the floor, you know, doing this part. And once you learn that, those edges are very important in the shuffle skating that we do. It's not just a push from your right foot to your left on your inside edge. We're using all edges on a lot of that stuff to do that. But the mohawk turn obviously is usually the first thing everybody learns. Nobody's brave enough to just jump up facing forward and land backwards on 1 foot or 2 feet. So it usually revolves around a step where you kind of step into the turn. And we used to stand and just practice with our feet, you know, facing outward, heels together at the wall. You have to like teach your legs to bend in ways where they're not, it just doesn't feel normal. But the more flexible you are with that, you see it every session you go to. The sideways guy, we have a buddy up at Olympic and he skates around with us a lot. His name's Jay. Of course, we call him Sideways Jay. But there's always a guy or two at the rink. I used to do that for hours at the rink, and I could actually skate sideways like that with my feet actually bent, and I could do an outer back circle on my back edges and skate with facing outside, but go around in a circle for hours. A straddled scissors, with your crotch the whole way down to the floor, like these little kids go under the limbo thing. Those are all things I wish I could still do. Like I was still pretty flexible when I quit skating, but I lost all that. And me being curled up in a ball on the floor all day definitely doesn't help. I enjoy just being able to stand up at the end of the day and stretch. But the skating just makes it all the more better.
Justin was, you mentioned Deborah. I had her on here. Oh man, she's a dude. She's such a good time. Such a good time. But I was talking to Justin about this, or I had him on, and he was talking about wanting to like put together like a YouTube kind of like tutorial thing. Yeah, for the tricks thing. And I think he said he's like, I really want Greg to get involved and do this. He didn't really talk about it too much, but is that something you guys have actually discussed, or is it
not? It hasn't made it more past that point, really. It's and I get people that ask me all the time. I've been asked to teach some shuffle skating lessons. Different rinks have reached out to me. It's on the radar. Like I would like to save that maybe for a little bit later when I slow down with my real job.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy like watching the expression on people's face, and once that something finally clicks and they get it, it takes you to the next level. And then it's like, okay, if we've accomplished this, what else can we do? So it never ends. Like I've jet skied for quite a few years when I wasn't skating, and rode stand up, and it's like that. Like you always can get to a point where everyone looks at you and says, wow, that guy's pretty good. But in your mind, there's always the next level that you haven't reached yet. And you never feel like you've completely conquered it. So it's just, you get to a point where you get older and you're like, the goal I used to have is no longer obtainable. I have to settle for where we're at, and be okay with that, And for me, a lot of times I'm skating around still shuffling, but I'm really just watching everybody else, and takes me back to when I was younger. It makes me feel good to see that it's still a thing.
Yeah, man. But
the lessons or to teach those routines, it wouldn't be that bad, but there's so many different levels of skaters. You might have two people that skate similar side by side, but when it comes to turning backwards, one's only going to be comfortable turning towards the inside, the other one's going to want to turn to the outside. And one question all the kids I think asked me, what number did you learn first? And I said, well, unfortunately everybody wanted to teach me number 3 first, which was an inner mohawk turn into a 3 split, or a 3 turn with a split. No split. We didn't do splits originally. Sometimes you would just do the 3 turn and just pop a little front split. We didn't jump completely 180, let alone the 360s or the 540s. But you just have to go at a pace where you're comfortable, and that's different for everybody. So you have to be really patient as an instructor, or just do one-on-one lessons and be prepared to spend days or weeks waiting for the person to hit that spot where it clicks and they're like, okay, now I got it. The most frustrating thing is when you're learning is you'll do one that's absolutely perfect, and it's almost like you get that instant boost of confidence, and then you get flattened on your ass and you're like, okay, we're back to the drawing board. Now I'm scared again, and watching the yes, I can in fact do it because I've done it, but now I've psyched myself out that I'm scared again, and I feel like I'm starting all over. That happens a lot, and you'll see that with a lot of the kids. By the end of a session, they're getting pretty ballsy, but the next session they skate, they're right back to being unsure about trying to do any of that again.
Well, I totally understand that. Even like take out like falling, like not even that, just like you're at a session, figure something out, right? And you're like, and you hit something for the first time, right? Like, yes, right? And then and then the next, but it's not like I fell or anything like that, but like and so I leave, I come back for the next session, and it's like, I thought I had it. You know what I mean? It's the worst feeling ever.
Pull the carpet out from underneath you.
Yeah, man. I've had that experience for sure.
Yeah.
Man.
It's a timely thing, and your dedication definitely is what pays off. You know what I mean? some people are just natural fast learners. I had Christine and Butch up at Wilkes-Barre. I didn't really know who they were the first night. Butch was out skating. Christine called me over at Whitehall. They had come down to Whitehall to skate. And she said, "Is it true you taught Larry Anderscavage how to skate?" I said, "No." She said, "Well, I heard that you did." I said, "He was already skating." I said, "But he is a very quick learner." I said, "I don't have to show him anything more than once or twice. And he just picks it up. Like he's a natural born, he's got balls when it comes to that, and he's confident, but he was also a great ball player. He was a gymnast, so he's not afraid to fall. He's not afraid to push the limits a little bit, but that's how you excel. But that's not for everybody. If I, people, my favorite thing is people come up, "How did you learn how to skate so good?" I learned how to fall a lot. I learned how to fall a whole lot. I mean, I was covered in bruises and brush burns for a couple summers, especially trying those 540s. That was the next level for us as kids. It's like everybody wanted to do a 540. And my confidence level on those for years was I was a jackass. I would come into the corner, even the size of that pack we had skating. If I was leading that pack, I would come right out of the corner. We do this thing called a nut where, we do that little cross behind or that stutter step. We come out of the corner. Some of us do it going into the corner or both. Well, we call that, if you do one of those corner hop or cross behinds and then flip backwards into a split, it's just a simple, like, you don't even have to jump. You can just pivot on your right heel and drop your left toe backwards and you're into a split. We call that a nut. I would have a pack of people that big behind me, and I would come out of that corner and I would do a nut. And instead of just dropping my heel, I would throw a 540 and I land in a split. And the whole time, I'm not even focusing on what I'm doing. I'm just looking at the crowd because each and every person, especially the ones directly behind me, look like they're ready to shit their pants because I was not expecting that, and you scared the shit out of me, And that's a cruel trick to play on everybody, but that was the confidence level I had at one time. I wouldn't dream of doing that nowadays. I mean, the kids push me by the end of the night a lot of times to do one or two. I like to egg them on and call them names when they fall, just to push them harder. But they're pushing each other now, and that's a good thing.
I am here with Andrew. How do I pronounce your last name, Andrew? I want to make sure I get it right.
Gawad.
Yeah, okay. So I am always getting it right. Cool.
Yeah.
Good deal. Man, so I've seen you around for a little while now. I mean, like, you've been doing the Lehigh Valley scene a lot longer than I have. I'm not even from PA, but let me ask first, real quick, when did you first start skating?
I was around like 10, 11 years old. I think I was in 5th grade, just about then, right before middle school.
Did you have family or anything like that skated? You just get into it
Yeah, I actually have a twin sister, and she used to skate all the time when we were kids, but it wasn't really my thing, We tried to like keep it separate. But yeah, she got me into skating, and then when I got into it, she stopped. So
So have you now? What would you consider like home rink?
Whitehall.
Okay.
Yeah, I live like 5 minutes down the street.
Nice. Okay. So is that where you started and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a definitive style that you guys, have going on there, man. And so everybody knows, we're going to be talking about Lehigh Valley, Whitehall, Skateaway, and really just the event that just went down, Skate Like No Brakes. Andrew, kind of pulled me aside and had mentioned a couple things to me, and I really wanted to kind of get his perspective on the whole thing. I think it was a giant success, and we'll get into it. But yeah, so you started at Whitehall, but like I said, there is like a definitive style, man, and like and shuffle scene there. How did you get into that whole shuffle scene and that style? When did that start for you?
Like when I first started skating, it wasn't like I didn't take it like super seriously or anything like that. So it was more like, I had like my crappy little like $30 skates, skate around the rink 11-1, do lessons, that kind of stuff. And then when I was getting a little older, like maybe like 12, 13, I started going to the 7 to 10 sessions, and I started watching like all the adults skate and all that stuff. I actually learned from Sean the DJ. I used to watch him skate when I was a kid, and I just copied what he did with his feet.
Okay.
That's kind of how I figured it out.
Okay. All right. So, and who were you like skating with on the regular, like for the most part? I guess when you first started kind of learning like that shuffle style.
Like growing up, it was like basically like my core friend group, you know, like we would go skating all the time, and that was just kind of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
As we got older, some people grew out of it, some people grew into it, you know what I mean? So at some point, like I'd say like the best times of my life skating were mostly with Brennan, Jason, Matt for the most part,
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool.
and that was like teenage years.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, as people like or friends, like you said, kind of people grow out of it, they grew into it. Like obviously, kind of you grew into it. Like what kind of what do you think kind of made you stick around and just kind of keep doing this thing? You just enjoyed it, or what was the deal?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I don't know, something about it, you know, like I would watch like people like Greg skate when I was a kid, and I'd be like, you know, like I want to do that one day, but at the
Yeah.
time nobody did that like but him, you know what I mean? So it was like it was just one of those things where I would just watch and be like, wow, like that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then I guess something in me just made me stick with it, and here we are.
Yeah. So like when you say, because I mean I totally relate to that. Like for me, it was like watching my big brother and the cats he skated with, and
Mhm.
it literally was that. It was like I want to do that. Like I want to do that, right? So now with everything the synchronized jumps and just everything that you guys are doing, like you mentioned Greg Fuller, I'm assuming, right? Did you
Yeah.
say Greg. Okay, so was he the guy that kind of that that was like kind of passing that thing on, like the at least the kind of the routine type of stuff, or was it multiple people? Like what were you doing?
It was more like Greg was doing it, and the rest of us were kind of in awe, and we just would
Yeah.
watch him, and we just tried to figure it out step by step because all of us were too afraid to go up to him at the time and talk to him and try to figure it out. So we would just watch him, we would record him, we'd look at videos on Instagram and Facebook and whatever, YouTube, like tons and tons and tons of old videos until we figured it out.
Yeah. So, but at some point though, Greg isn't so scary. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
So when did that happen? When did you actually like start like kind of conversing with that dude?
I don't even remember, to be
Yeah.
honest. It was probably right around like the last 8 wheels, like 2018, like when because that was like our first like big event. That was like a group that we did.
So that was like the last one, right?
Yeah, that was the last one. That was the only one that we went to.
So, but you at least got to go, man.
Yeah, I have pictures and videos and stuff from way back then.
Was it like something that you had known about prior to that and wanted to go? Was it like a big deal for you?
Yeah, it was one of those things like when you're a kid and people talk about like these insane events and they're like an hour and a half away, you're like, wow, like I want to do that. And so then, we made a trip with like all of our parents and stuff, and we just, we ended up going, and it ended up being a great time. And I
So,
think like
oh,
that kind of helped with the dream too, you know?
yeah, yeah. So I gotta say, it was a few years back, man. I went to the like Ray, Big Daddy Ray had told me about a late skate or adult night late skate at Bethlehem, and I've been skating again for like I don't know somewhere between 6 months and a year, but I had never been out there. I'd like kind of been fumbling around like Lancaster area and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and just looking around, and then I had made my way out to Philly. But he's telling me about these late skates that would go off like in like starting in the fall, and they would go through the winter, and whatever at different skateaways and stuff.
Yeah.
And so he brought me up to Bethlehem, and I was like, it was the first time that I really saw kind of like that style, but honestly, like what I saw was like the man, phew, the best skating I had seen in Pennsylvania up to that point.
Yeah.
Just as far as like the style that I'm into, you know what I mean, and what I like to do. So like, and just so like impressed, like on a whole nother level. I was like, where do these people come from? Like what and how do I not know about this yet? How have I not come here yet? Have you been involved in like that adult like or that late skate scene like throughout Bethlehem and the Lehigh Valley area and all that kind of stuff for a while now, or
Yeah, so well, I don't remember when my first late skate was, a long time ago. Probably like I couldn't even give you like an estimate. It's just a long time ago. But at one point, in my years, I got kicked out of Whitehall once or twice for doing some not so cool things at the
Okay.
time, you know. So I got kicked out of Whitehall, and I ended up having to go to Bethlehem for quite some time. So I got like really familiar with everybody there, you know, made a bunch of friends there, did all types of events there, and like I still try to go to Bethlehem as much as I can, like here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been Bethlehem and Whitehall. I've been skating at for a very long time.
Dude, so can I tell you how shocking it is to hear you say you got booted from Whitehall? Because I'm like, anytime someone like mentions you or whatever, I'm like, that dude's like the sweetest guy in the world, man. He's like the nicest dude. Like, if you don't have to get into it, but you got to give me some. If you could give me some kind of idea, what the hell are you doing to get you booted from Whitehall?
So it actually wasn't my fault. Or at least I don't say it was, but it basically, like, not to like drag on it, but my parents own a car dealership and like a garage and a body shop, so we get like a bunch of people who come into the shop all the time, and some of them are like from skating and stuff. And I guess my dad said the wrong thing to the wrong person, and it just was not. It wasn't. It was just a bad situation, and my dad's a very stubborn guy, so he wouldn't go to Mindy and apologize for saying like bad stuff for like a year and a half. So I was just stuck. I was stuck skating elsewhere for just a long time for that.
So you just had to bear that cross, basically.
Yeah. You know.
Oh man, that's funny, dude. Okay,
Yeah.
well, so all right, man. Well, so you went to Eight Wheels. You knew about it. It was something you definitely want to do for a while, but you finally get to do it, and then they stop. Eight Wheels. Have you ever been to any other event? Any other skating events?
Off the top of my head, I try to do the Ray events every so often.
Oh yeah, I've seen you. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Philly Bash and stuff. I try to do like Tri Skate was always one that I did. Like I did Tri Skate. I think the only one I did was like it was pre-COVID and it was 2019, the year after Eight Wheels. That was a good event, and then COVID kind of messed everything up.
Yeah.
But it's mostly I've been to Eight Wheels. I've been to some of the Tri-Ring skates, and just like here and there, you know.
I hear you. Okay. All right. So for like Whitehall and stuff and Bethlehem, like those rinks, you said after COVID, things got kind of messed up. So like, has there been kind of a downtrend as far as just attendance or something? Have you seen what have you seen the last few years? You know what I mean?
It's been up and down. I feel like for every skating rink, it's been real up and down. Like,
Yep.
like before COVID, at least from what I remember, it used to be pretty consistent. You know, like you could kind of guess how many people are going to be there every week. Like in the winter months, it gets more packed. In the summer months, it gets like more dead. But since then, it's like in the winter months, it's either really packed or really empty, and in the summertime, it's usually empty because that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's every rink, you know.
Hell yeah. I mean, now growing up in New England, I will say I don't know what it is, but maybe it's because our winters are longer or something like that. But we never really noticed like a downturn in the summer. I definitely know that like being here, that's, like I think there's longer summers here. People have just more stuff to do or whatever, but I definitely noticed that here. And I know that like when they do the late skates and stuff, those are through the fall and winter months. Yeah. But it's so interesting, man, because I actually had Mad Hatter on the pod like over a year ago. We actually did his at Whitehall. And it was a conversation I had with him. It was a conversation that I've had with Ray, where, cause I would help Ray out with these events the last couple of years and stuff. But we would go to these late skates or I'd come to Whitehall or something like that, man. And I'd be like, dude, why isn't something happening here? Like, look at this. This is crazy. Like, why aren't we doing something here? And, I don't know, man. Like I feel like you guys there's a distinct style and a flavor that goes off there. It's clearly it's ingrained in like shuffle skating. You know what I mean? It's like this evolved, old style that's just evolved into this craziness. But yeah, but I would always be like, dude, like something should be happening here, man. It feels like you guys and what happens in the Lehigh Valley and the surrounding areas, like that central PA area, it feels kind of like a best kept secret in a sense. And maybe you can speak to this. I don't know if you could speak to it collectively or just for yourself, but a lot of it is because I don't see, like, you guys aren't putting yourself all over social media, you know what I mean, and all that kind of stuff. Is that like an intent thing, or like for your, maybe you could just speak for yourself, but
I don't know about everybody else, but like, at least for me, it's like yeah, like if I posted enough videos, like I'm sure I would get traction eventually. You know what I mean? But that's not what I'm in it for. You know, I'm in it for the love of the game. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
yeah,
just like I do it for fun, and like whatever videos get posted, I'll repost them and whatever. But it's not like I'm gonna go out of my way to like get these videos and go through the whole thing and do all that.
right on, right on.
But that's just like a personal thing, you know. I'd rather not like post my face all over the internet.
Yeah,
Let everybody else post it, you know.
Andrew's saying that you guys are all a bunch of like clout chasers out there. That's what Andrew's saying.
Yeah.
No. But it's no, I get it, man. Because when I first started skating again, it was kind of interesting because somebody took a video of me. I didn't even know it. Like I didn't have a TikTok or anything, and then people, like, I would go to these rinks and people were like, "Hey, are you that guy?" And then they would pull up this video, and I'm like, "Who the hell took this kind of thing?" And so I started posting like videos here and there, you know, like, and mostly because I think my family liked seeing it back home and stuff. But yeah, it got tired quick. It felt kind of icky. You know what I mean? It kind of felt like, you know. And then, you know, but I definitely wanted to do something. I really, like, I don't know. I felt like skating in a big way, like, especially coming back into it, like, did a lot for me and whatever, and just kind of get involved in whatever way I could. And really, honestly, what I figured out was once you turn the camera around and you put it on other people, man, it's a much more rewarding thing, you know?
Yeah.
And and so, like, with the Whitehall thing, man, like, or the EWNB, like, has that ever been a thing? Like how old do you know Rob and Jackie? Do you know them?
I've known them for quite a while. I don't know, like obviously I remember them from when we went to Eight Wheels, but that was like a way different time. That was before that I had ever spoken to any of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I'd say I've been in cahoots with Jack and Rob for a few years now. For a few years we've been close.
Have you ever, like, asked them, like, "Hey, are you guys going to do another Eight Wheels and all that kind of stuff?"
Yeah, every time I seen Jackie for a long time.
Okay, all
I'd
right.
be like, "Hey Jackie, how about another Eight Wheels? Hey Jackie, how about another Eight Wheels?" And then last year she was like, "I got something coming next year," and this is what it was.
Yeah, man. Well, so it's funny because they, you know, when she came to me about it, I'd never been to Eight Wheels No Brakes. The only thing I know about it was all this videos I've seen and just talking to people, man. But they talk, like, I go to events all over the country, and I've never heard people talk about events like they talk about Eight Wheels, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a whole nother thing. They talk about it like a religion, like with super, like, a bunch of reverence, you know? And so I have and the mostly because of the people believed in the reason why they did that thing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so, like, I just, you know, and then I got to know Rob and Jackie really well, going out to Roller Jam and stuff, which was just, that was like, I felt like I found my home when I went to that place, you know? And
Yeah.
so when Jackie mentioned it to me, like, I immediately was like, this is no, like, I can't, like, I'm not the guy to do this, right? Like, I'm not like I don't know, like, I don't know this thing or whatever. But so yeah, so when she threw that out there, I was like, well, hell yeah. And then we started throwing, of course we talked about Amboy, you know,
Mhm.
but, like, it was funny because we both, like, I don't even know who mentioned it first. I know that one of us mentioned it and the other was already thinking it anyway, but it was like Whitehall, dude, like Whitehall. Like, I want to do Whitehall. Come to find out, I don't know if you're aware of it, but South Amboy and Whitehall, the floor size is the exact same size. We just figured that out this weekend.
I didn't know it was the exact same.
Yeah.
I knew it was right around, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the unusable space, obviously, at Whitehall. It's a little smaller, you know, but so it was like, yeah, Whitehall, dude. Like, we got, like, there's a thing, man. There's something going on in Whitehall, and we wanted to, like, I don't know, man. Like, if you've seen any of the promos or whatever, just talking about it, it was like I felt like there's like a distinct flavor, like not just in the skating, but the music and the whole deal here, man, which I don't know. I think if people could be exposed to it, you know, on a, you know, from different places, man, I think they'd love it. It's just, and it's not to knock anything else that's going on. It's just you don't go to events and have that thing happening just the entire event, right?
Yeah.
So we were like, hell, like she was like, yes, like absolutely, you know, and then was just off to figure it out. So okay, she tells you that this is coming, right? Like, what did she say to you when she first mentioned it?
That's a great question. This past weekend kind of wiped my memory a little bit. I skated very hard. It's the hardest I've skated in a long time.
Good.
But from what I remember, she was just like something big's coming, and that was it. It's like every time I'd see her, I'd ask her, and she'd be like, yeah, we're gonna do something, and then nothing happened, and then something happened, you know?
Yeah. It was funny because do you know Andy Bruckner? Do you know that guy?
Not by name. If I seen his face, probably.
Yeah, he was there this weekend, but he used to go to all the 8 wheels, and I had put out this thing that, you know, like there's a, you know, Sk8LIKEYou is going to be doing an event, but you know, like there's another brand that's going to be a part of it, and you know, and we're going to announce it. It's kind of like this little secret kind of thing that we're doing to hype it up or whatever. And I saw him down in Georgia at an event. And he came over to me and he's like, it's fucking 8 wheels, isn't it? 8 wheels, no brakes. And I'm like, I can't say, dude. I can't say. He's like, I fucking know it is. I know it is, man. He's like, don't mess this up. You know, blah, blah, blah. He's like, but he was all hyped about it. Right. So, so when we announced it, you know, like, you know, it's been gone for a little while. So of course there's people that have, you know, younger that aren't aware of it, but there's a lot of people that are, you know, as well. So, I mean, I just was stoked. I was stoked. I honestly did not know what the hell was going to happen, man. I did not. I figured like PA, like the tri-state area would support it, you know. But I mean, I just want to ask you, someone that's been to 8 wheels, someone 8 wheel no brakes, somebody that's you know, it's Whitehall is your spot, man. I mean, yeah, just get like. Did you enjoy yourself, man? Was it what you expected? Like, yeah, just give me the rundown. What do you think, man?
I thought it was the best event that we've ever had at Whitehall. Like by far, you know.
Wow.
Like we do events like every month. We have a late skate like every month, every other month. We do Timmy's late skate every year. That's always a great time. But nothing came close to what this past weekend was, you know.
Nice, man.
Like it was so awesome. Like seeing that great of a turnout and seeing everybody having such a great time, good music, good people, you know what I mean? Like it was so much fun. It was great.
Yeah, man. I love Tito. Dude, I could get down to Tito. Dude, Jace killed, man.
Jace and Sean played fantastic.
That floor did not stop, man. Like, oh my God, dude. Like so good. So yeah, holy, I couldn't have been happier with it, man. But when you came up to me and you like, I think you had said something to, I can't even remember. I don't remember what you said now, but I just know it stuck with me. No, it was like you were like, dude, I don't think I've seen Whitehall like this in forever or something like that, man. And,
yeah.
And for us, like, it was like, that's what we like, that was the goal. And I hope this doesn't come across like I'm pumping for compliments. It's not.
No.
Like I sincerely, I really want to get the perspective of like, from the people that skate that area, that and because I want to make sure 2 things. 1, that we honored what you guys do and what, you know, and 2, one of the things I said to Jackie was I want to do what the Northeast does, like that area, like I personally, it's what I dig, and that's why I get along with Jackie and Rob, and we just have a very similar. We're just all about the same thing, and our reasons for doing everything and the whole 9. But the thing that was important for me is I didn't want it to come across like we were like using your vibe, like using that thing to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a thing to honor what was happening, not to take advantage of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it didn't feel like it. It just felt like a great weekend, you know?
Yeah, man.
Great people, great DJs, great food. It was the whole weekend was awesome.
Yeah, dude.
It was absolutely amazing.
So we are definitely going to do it again. So
what I like to hear.
Yeah, man. And this is all I want to do, Andrew. So one of the things that we were talking about Friday night at dinner before we went over there, because Rob isn't short of opinions on skating and event stuff, but I come to find out we think a lot of the same. And like this is like what I want to do, right? Like I don't want to do any other event. Like this is like Sk8LIKEYou and the podcast. Like I don't mind taking it to events, you know what I mean, and doing little one-on-one spot interviews. But you know, we talked about it before and we talked about it at the end. Because we wanted to make sure it even worked out, but it, you know, but it's like, this is what I don't want. Like, I don't need to do 2, 3, 4 events a year. I don't want to go do them anywhere else. Like, I want you guys, and I want everybody to know like that when the Sk8LIKEYou and like 8 Wheels No, like EWNB event happens, like this is where it's at. This is what it's about. This is, you know what I mean? And this is when it's only going to be, I just think to do it any other way takes that special thing away from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That makes any sense. So what else could we do? What was there anything that you could suggest though? Anything that you would like to see happen?
There's really not much anybody could do to improve that. You know what I mean? Like there really isn't much. Like the music was awesome. The floor was moving. Everybody had a great time. All good reviews. There was no issues. No anything. You know.
Oh my god. Did you pick up on it? Like it wasn't like, it was like everyone had a blast, but I felt like, as corny as it sounds, is like you look around and like the whole weekend, it was like, dude, everybody just is happy here, man.
Big smiles on their faces all night, both nights.
Yeah, man. It was dope. But like, yeah, what do you think about the I'm wondering if we do a Friday, Saturday. Because Sunday, I don't know. Like, what do you think?
It doesn't really bother me all that much. Whatever nights, you know, you guys want to decide on. But personally, I like the Saturday, Sunday thing. Because it brings me right back to 8 Wheels, you know, where I forget, they used to do, I'm pretty sure the warm up, because I was a little young, so I don't really remember too much, but they used to do the warm up at Roller Jam Saturday, and then 8 Wheels at Roller Magic on Sunday, 5 to 9, right? Something like that.
Yeah. Did you ever get to go to Roller Jam?
I did a handful of times. I was at the last session.
Were you? So it's so funny, man, how many people I talked to and they're like, yeah, I was at the last session. And I mean, it was insane because I was there too. How many people I don't remember seeing, because it was just nuts in that place.
Yeah,
man.
it was, everybody was on top of each other. Everybody was sweaty. Everybody was drunk. You know what I mean? It was just, the music was like, I had to like crawl like outside by the arcade to go get some air. You know, there were so many people in that place, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. Because like, when else was I going to get the opportunity to go to a club underage and skate, you know? So I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, a lot of people underage got a chance to go that last night, because what the hell are they going to do, you know?
Yeah, we all had to wear red.
Man, dude, I love that place. I absolutely love that place. But it was the music, man. Like, it really, really was. Like, I don't. So, okay, like, all right, so we got Andrew's vote of confidence, or Andrew had a good time at Sk8LIKE No Brakes. That's dope, man. I'm really, really glad, dude. I'm really like, I as corny as it might sound, I'm happy that everybody had a blast, and the feedback online right now is just crazy. It's still, you know, at least in our little skate world, trending, you know what I mean? Like, but honestly, like, and I'm not blowing smoke. Like, I've said this to Jackie, just on, you know, one-on-one, and Rob and everything. I'm so glad that the people that call Whitehall home had like enjoyed it as much as it seemed, man. Like that honestly is the most important thing to me, dude. So yeah, I'm stoked, man. I'm stoked.
Yeah, dude, we couldn't have asked for a better event.
Nice.
Really. Could not have asked for a better time.
Well, I promise I won't sell you guys out. We're going to keep it there, man. We're going to keep it in that area. The only reason that we would is if we ever had to like change a location, would be if it blew up. But I mean, but hearing that, because Rob was the one that told me that he confirmed that that the floor size was the same as Amboy, and I know that they were packing 500 in that.
Yeah.
Place, so but,
it does get a little tight in Whitehall because the way it's set up sometimes, but when everybody's on the floor, it's not too bad.
Yeah, man, dude, such a good time. Such a good time.
Yeah,
man.
and Sunday with that pack, I can't wait to see those videos. That was
65.
Is that what the count was?
65, which means that somebody must have been like in the tail end, like solo or something like that. I'm thinking, but and then I went through and I counted, like, you know, on these videos that I have, and 65. And I don't know, I haven't even figured it out, but it was a while. Like, how long do you think that went?
I have no idea. I saw Greg's comment on Facebook. It said something along the lines of like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It felt a lot longer than that, so I don't really know. My guess is probably like a half hour or so, but I have no idea.
Greg told me.
All I know is that after the fact, I couldn't really walk.
Well, Greg told me his legs were burning at work the next day. Was it Ed OG Smooth that said he hadn't skated that hard and that much in so long? I think Justin today was like, he's like, dude, I didn't even know you got footage. He's like, I just saw you skating the entire time. You know, it was just it was awesome. It was awesome, man. Well, thank you so much, dude, for
you're welcome
for checking it out, man. And yeah, dude, it was. I'm really glad that you guys enjoyed it. It's honestly,
we had a great time. We're very excited for next year.
Nice, dude. Nice. You heard it here first. Andrew Gawad, Whitehall local, Whitehall OG approves. Yep. Skate like no breaks, dude. All right, where are you gonna be? What session you gonna be at next?
Not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure Bethlehem's got a late skate next month. I might see some people out if I decide to go. The next thing on the bucket list, I'm pretty sure, is Ray's event in November for the Fall Bash.
Yeah.
In Philly, so I'll probably be there for that.
Cool.
But I don't know. I just be floating around whenever I can make it to an event, you know.
So look, we can cut this if we have to, but I gotta ask, what's going on with Bethlehem's floor, man?
It's trash.
Okay, all right.
It's like
I don't remember it being that bad when I first went there a couple of years ago.
It's because Donald he wanted to redo the floor, right? So his plan was to sand the entire floor down to like the bare wood, like all the way down.
Yep.
And then he was just gonna make it smooth and then coat it back up. Something along the lines of him not letting it cure long enough or something, but a bunch of air bubbles came in and stuff, and then when he ended up finishing, when the floor was done, it was like pushing the wood up in like spots, so it's like real bumpy and raised, and there's like dips and stuff, so I don't know.
The last time I went, it was look, I'm not hating, honestly. It's sad, like I think it's really unfortunate because I was there and I left. It was just you can go some places and like sometimes a floor might be too slippery, or sometimes it might just have some bumps and all that. But it was like ice skating off road, man. You know, and it was just but I remember thinking like, dude, this is awful because like I said, Bethlehem was the first place I went where I just saw people getting down, dude, like getting down. Like it was my first exposure to that whole style, that whole thing that was going on. I don't know how you fix that, man. I really hope they can get it.
Yeah. Have to rip it out and put a new one in. I would think, but what do I know? You know, I've never worked on the floor before. I don't know anything about wood, so.
I don't know, dude. Ouch. Okay. We'll see if we keep this in.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, is there anything you want to throw out there? Any shout outs? Anything you want to mention?
No, not really. You know, shout out my homies. You know, shout out the homies that made this weekend awesome. That's pretty much it. Shout out everybody else for coming out of their way to show up. Like I heard there was people from like Texas, Florida, Georgia, like all over the place.
Yeah, man.
Like I drove 5 minutes down the road, you know, so it was very convenient for me. But like shout out to the other people who drove like 10, 11 plus hours just to come skate at our rink, you know.
Yeah, New England was in there too, man. People, like, it was Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island. I mean, like, like I was so pleased when I heard where people were coming from.
Yeah, spending all this like time and money coming all the way down here to skate our little rink in Whitehall, you know?
Yeah, man.
It was great.
Well, it's gonna happen again. You know what I mean? We're gonna do it again, dude. So
can't wait.
It's just gonna be bigger and better. All right, man. Well, Andrew, thank you very much for hopping on, man. I really appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, of course. I would love to hop on here again, maybe in person the next time I see you.
Yeah, dude, we're going to get you on for a full episode. I want to hear the whole behind the music, behind the skates, Andrew Gawad story.
Yeah, I'll give you whatever you want.
Nice, dude. Nice. All right, man. Well, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
I am here finally with Andy Bruckner. How's it going, Andy?
Hey, great. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. All right. So, Andy, it's funny, man, is that, wait, you're not originally from Carolina, right? Are you from up this way originally?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Madison and started skating in Florham Park, a little tiny rink, and then went over to Livingston and met a bunch of people there, and Roller World in Wharton. And then I moved down here about 30 years ago, and the first thing I did was look for roller rinks. And over the past 30 years, I think I've hit all of them in the state at least once.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Is there something, it's so funny. I was out there, not this past 4th of July, but the 4th of July prior.
Right.
And my brother, who's skated long before I did, he's the oldest of us three, and we all kind of followed him to the rink, and he hadn't been skating forever. So we went down to Kate's because he lives down in around the Spartanburg area.
Perfect. Yeah.
And we went down there because he decides, like, he had been watching me get back into it, for a little while at that point. And he was like, yeah, I think I want to do it. And so I was like, well, hey, I'm going to come visit. And you got an amazing rink not too far from you. And also Kate's has a pretty extensive pro shop compared to most rinks too, So I was like, this might be the place to go check some stuff out. So
yeah,
we go there in the afternoon. It's like a Swifty skate, right? And he drops like, I don't know, like $1,200 on some shit.
Oh yeah. Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Well, sweet. But dude, he like went skating with me like once that week. I don't think he's used them since. Wow. Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah. Right. Oh. But is there a rink around the Spartanburg area? I thought somebody told me that there was, but like kind of was like, man, it's not, I don't know. Do you know of something?
Yeah, there's a couple rinks down there, neighboring towns. Taylor's has a nice rink, but really nothing compared to what we have in Gastonia, which is just outside of Charlotte. Definitely worth the trip because there's people there. And if there's friends there, then it's worth going to. Not so good music or, not absolutely. So good floor conditions. But if your friends
I had introduced him to a bunch of people when we went out that night. And
we're all tight.
But yeah, I'd introduced him to some people, but I don't know, he was busy or whatever. But do you ever get to Indian Trail? Is that one that you frequent at all, or?
I do. It's owned by the same company, Kate's. You only really don't have a good shuffle session there.
Okay.
Rhythm, they do a fantastic job, and I mean, for the Charlotte area, which is 4 million people around the area. I mean, they get a good following there. They've got a couple of sessions, but for Shuffle Skate, we have our one adult session on Friday night, and our whole week revolves around that.
So interesting is that, okay, so you moved away like 30 years ago, you moved south, but so like, how did you get involved? Like, how did you get involved in Eight Wheels? Like, how did you know about it?
Yeah, I was skating at a rink down here, and there was one guy who came up to me and said that he used to have a pair of skates like mine back in the day, and I had some Rydell 265s. That guy was Michael Southworth. He's been around the skate circuit for quite some time. He's kind of vanished here in the past few years, but he told me right away about the skate reunion up north, and just ran into this guy. He skated at Livingston. I never knew him from Adam, but he said they had what's called a skate reunion, and he mentioned a bunch of names of people that we both knew. So I think the first time Rob did Eight Wheels No Brakes, it was just called a reunion. And then when they went with Eight Wheels No Brakes is when I started going, probably around 2010. Okay. And fell in love, man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Did you ever get to Roller Jam?
Oh, gosh. Oh, that was a big reason for going up. Heck yeah.
Okay.
Rob did that every Saturday before the big event on Sunday. And to to have New York City as your playground, to go through Central Park and over the Brooklyn Bridge on your skates was just, it's a dream. It really is. And the whole trip there was nothing bad about those trips.
What do you think it was like just going to that, like 8 Wheels and just that whole experience that was different and it made it worth it to you, right? Because to make that trip for that many years.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 700-mile trip, and we drove it every time. It's so worth it. But to go there and see your peers, and you're able to skate with and keep up with your peers, and of course some young kids. But I mean, these were people you skated with as kids, but it just grew every year. And with social media really coming on board, these were like family, like instantly. And to this day, they still are.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you know Rob prior to going up there?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, at all. Michael Southworth introduced me. He was instrumental in helping Rob get it off the ground and some of the logistics early on. But I met Rob, and just a down to earth guy, and his whole goal is skate and have fun. Skate and have fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with with Roller Jam, like when was the last time that you were up there before they closed?
Well, I went last night.
You were at the last one?
Oh yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, there's no way I was going to miss that.
Yeah.
But we brought a group from North Carolina. They experienced it for the very first time, and unfortunately the last time. That night was a little crazy, but in 5 that I was there, it was just, you didn't notice the rink was smaller. You just lit that floor up, and the music was so loud it just echoed inside your chest. It was I called it before skating euphoria. It was fantastic. Can't be mad.
Yeah, so it's so funny. You're like, I don't know how many people I've talked to in the past like month, especially like with the Skate Like No Brakes thing happening, and that brings up a lot of stuff about 8 Wheels No Brakes, and of course then that leads to talking about Roller Jam. But like, you're probably like the 10th person I've talked to in the last like 2 or 3 weeks where they're telling me, yeah, I was at the last Roller Jam session because I was there too, but it was so packed. There was I don't know how many. I think I probably like didn't see even as many people as there were. It's like I feel like I saw less people than I actually saw. You know what I mean? Like I don't, because there's so many people like, oh yeah, I was there. I was like, really? I it was nuts.
Oh, I get the same thing. It was nuts, but they catered to rhythm skaters and artistic skaters, and all of them wanted to be there. So it wasn't necessarily a shuffle night. They were packed with everybody they influenced in the previous time they were open.
Oh yeah. That whole night, anytime I got on the floor, I was out there either with Nathan Edwards or Evan Runfola, and all we're doing is one of us is just sticking behind the other one, and we're just because it's all you can do, you know what I mean? Yeah. But we wanted to go, like knowing this is the last time, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's interesting because you get to a lot of events now. Kate's holds a USA event, like kind of, it's that Southern style kind of shuffle event. You know what I mean? But like, is there, and it's not to say that there's anything, I love going to all the events I go to. I have a blast. You know what I mean? What do you think though is significantly different about 8? Because here's the thing. I know a lot of things, especially when they go away, right? Like people romanticize them, maybe even a little bit more than, like my grandmother used to be like, my, your grampy was a saint. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, you never talked about him like that when he was here. Right. But people talk about 8 Wheels No Brakes with like just a ton of reverence and like passion. What do you think is different that they were doing maybe that we don't quite see anymore? Or if maybe there's nothing, or I don't know, but in your opinion.
Well, first of all, the one word I can say is that it's sacred. Like I said, when we got a whole group of North Carolinians going up there, our whole year revolved around, hey, I've got to save money. That's one skate trip that I'm going on. And the fact that sets it apart is obviously if Rob and Jackie are involved, there's no question. They think of every detail. It's all about skaters. And the DJs they put in, they're local DJs, and they're proven. And my favorite DJ, I'd say, is Tito. And I mean, I don't need to say more than that. You've heard him, you've seen him compared to other DJs. A lot of good DJs out there. He's just one step above, and you will not get off the floor. You don't want to get off the floor.
Yeah, yeah. And he does that thing that you mentioned before where he'll keep every single style on the floor moving just as happy as anyone else the entire night, which is I just don't see that very often at all.
Saw it last weekend, and just the memories that flood back. I just wish I was a little younger. The body's getting beat up, but Tito makes you feel young again. And not a lot of things do in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's kicks it, and like I said, Rob and Jackie and Jen, for that matter, they all really put their all into this. And I've seen behind the scenes of things that they do that most people don't, and it's just amazing to have that kind of passion that spills over, and we all feel it. That's what I mean by sacred. You just don't see that with other events. You don't see that with other rinks and other rink owners. It really hits us in the legs, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So interesting, which you knew this already. I put that post out of a couple weeks ago. You're the first person to come to me and guess that 8 Wheels was going to be this other promotion. I don't even know, like, I don't remember. I'm putting out so much content with the podcast. I don't remember specifically like what I said or referenced to, but what gave it away to you? How did you know?
Dude, it was so easy. I've known Jack some time, and I really haven't seen her, make many posts or anything. And especially when she went on your podcast, I knew something was up right there, because I knew Rob didn't want to do it anymore. And Jackie, there was always rumor about her starting up. And as soon as I saw her talking to you, and I know the audience that you talked to, there had to be something going on. So it was an easy question, and I knew the answer before I even asked you.
So it was funny too, because when he came up to me, and we don't have to get into the entire conversation, but you had some definite opinions, right? About how to stay true to certain elements of it. And yeah, I mean,
well I'm sure I reiterated what Jackie and Rob said to you, but all I said was, don't fuck this up. But in a nice way.
Absolutely. Really... Yeah, I didn't take it bad at all.
So it was just unbelievably fantastic, and so glad before it even started that we were asking for next year, because we all knew how good it was going to be.
Man, you did maybe. I was sweating like about 3 days before, right? I really started sweating it. Like I started sweating this idea of like, what if just nobody shows up, man?
Used to Phil, and he was a little nervous, but he felt the love after that first night was over, and we all said he did a fantastic job. I think he liked that.
Yeah. So what'd you think though about coming up to Skate Like No Breaks? Look, and I don't make any like kind of claim that, matter of fact, it's the opposite. I know that we're not going to replicate that thing ever. You can't. It's just, it's its own thing. But like, with Jackie involved and kind of knowing like what our goal was, like what was your experience? What was your takeaway as somebody that did frequent 8 Wheels No Breaks for so long?
It really wasn't that much different. I mean, the venue was, we've always skated at South Amboy, but we couldn't this year. And I mean, nothing wrong with Whitehall. Enjoyed the rink. The sound system was good, but like I said, there's some trade-offs. You got all your friends there. You got all your best DJs there. We got Rob and Jackie and Jen. Of course, the food is good, but really not much else they could have done other than what they did. Just, compensate for something bigger. I would recommend, if he's getting people traveling, though, to stay somewhere closer in New Jersey and then drive out to Whitehall. And the only reason is because on the days off, like the Friday or the Saturday, even Sunday morning, again, you got New York as your playground. Central Gates, over the Brooklyn Bridge, through Manhattan. That's a big part of the trip. So hotels in central Jersey is not a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, and we're kind of, and I don't know the major logistics of this, so I don't want to speak too much to it, but I know that, when we first start like kind of organizing Skate Like No Breaks, of course, went to Amboy, right? And just couldn't. What I'm hoping is that based on the response that we got, right, based on and look, but I also like, I enjoy Whitehall. I want to stay true to Whitehall. I love that area, like I really do. Like but and maybe it's one night one place, one night another place, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just hoping that maybe based upon the response, you know what I mean, and people see, like, certain venues maybe see how well attended it was, that it doesn't feel like a risk, you know what I mean, the next time around.
Yeah, well, it was good. I mean, the owner of Whitehall really helped Rob and Jackie out with a lot of things. I mean, wonderful person. And if that's where we're all going next year, I put my full trust in Rob and Jackie. They got it. We're following. We're following right along.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny too, because my thing is like, I know one, not having been to Eight Wheels No Brakes myself, just having heard about it from so many people,
right.
There's still so many things that, like, myself, Rob, and myself and Jackie, very much in tune on the same level. We have the same kind of principles. We think about this stuff the same. The first time I ever talked to Rob was out on the deck at Roller Jam in the rain with our skates on for like 45 minutes. You know what I mean? Where he just, cause you get Rob talking about skating, and
oh God, you plug in at least an hour or two.
Yeah. So, but we very much are on the same page with a lot of things. And I knew that, one, kind of to the conversation that you and I had, or the directive I got from you when you talked to me, when you guessed the other promotion, which was just staying true to like the Northeast, right? Like we don't have to bring anything else here. Like, let people come experience this. And so from my end, I really believe that the Lehigh Valley is like a best kept secret in skating. You know what I mean? Like that shuffle style, the Fullers, you know what I mean? All those young people up there that are just, I swear, man, I know that the shuffle competition thing is kind of, the past couple of years has really started to kind of increase in popularity. And I'm not saying that like anyone is better than anyone or anything like that, but I am saying of that young crowd, like up in the Lehigh Valley that does that thing.
Right.
I like, out of like 15 kids, I could pick a combination of 4 of them in any combination. And I know for a fact they could go and hold their own in any shuffle competition in this country.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. A lot of talent, a hell of a lot of talent.
Yeah, man.
And unfortunately, which I don't have, and some of us older people don't, no, it gives us something to aspire to.
Yeah. 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 So, do you know Greg Fuller? Do you know him at all? Okay.
I admired him for years, and every time he goes, it's always interesting. I usually say every time I see him, I can say, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that.
It's crazy, right? And he does it so effortlessly. Like, he'll do it like messing around. Like, he'll do it like he can like make fun of you, tell a joke, probably write an essay simultaneously. You know what I mean?
Like, did I do 60? Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Man. So, okay. Well, I tell you what, we did decide though, or at least for myself, we are having dinner beforehand, and a lot of places, a lot of things that come to me about doing an event here, doing an event there, and yada yada.
Right.
And one of the things that like, when I say that Jackie and Rob and myself are very much on the same page and think alike is, Rob started talking to me about, like, he's like, I think this is going to go well. And he's like, and if it does, you've got a decision to make, and I'm like, where's he going with this? Right. And he's like, what you've got to decide is.
While he was talking.
What's that?
Using his hands while he was talking.
Oh yeah. Yeah. A little bit. He's landing a plane. You know what I mean? But he was like, yeah, you're gonna have to make a decision about what you really want to do, you know? And I wasn't sure where he was going with it, but then it became clear real quick. And it's interesting because it was already the thought that I was having that had this thing, if this thing would, you know, ended up going off well, which was, I'll continue to, of course, I mean, the podcast I'm going to do. And I love being a sponsor and going to events and bringing it there and talking to people and stuff like that. But I can tell you right now, man, like we made a decision that night. I did with them, which was, well, basically after the first night, after we saw how well it went, which was, this is going to be Sk8LikeYou's event. Like the only event that we're going to, like, I'm going to do, you know, along with Jackie, like, this is it. Like Sk8LikeYou is going to host one event and that's it. And it's going to be one a year. And that's all, you know, and like I said, I'll go to other things and as a sponsor and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But like, you know, I'm sure you've probably had these conversations with Rob about the oversaturation of this thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I agree. When we did 8 Wheels No Brakes back, I mean, I started 2010. And I think Jeff Cooey had his event in Atlanta once a year. And literally that was it. And then as people's social media came in, you know, people wanted to do an event, this person's birthday, this person's graduation, benefits for cancer, heart health, all that. They're all great. The only thing is, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of us, you know, can afford one trip per year. And that's what made 8 Wheels No Brakes so great, because that was the only trip. And now people are spread so thin and there's zero communication on overlap. So, I mean, I think the weekend we had your 8 Wheels No Brakes thing here, there was some other event going on somewhere, and that pulled people away. So your events not necessarily are that big. It's a competition. I don't think it needs to be, but, you know, what can you do? You can talk about it, but I don't think anything can be done to remedy it. I really don't. I mean, I'm happy everyone's skating, but you know, you're going to pick and choose your events you can go to. And, you know, Rob's is a no brainer.
Yeah. Well, so, and the other thing is too, it's so funny is, you know, the first question people started asking was, are you guys going to do this again? Are you going to do this again? And you know, we hadn't really like confirmed it with each other yet, but we eventually did, like in the course of the weekend, and we were like, yeah, we're going to do this again. And then people start saying, well, why do we have to wait a year? Like, why don't you do 2 a year? Right. And I'm like, because then it's not special anymore.
It's,
you know
100. Yep.
You know,
you took right out of my mouth and Rob's mouth as well. He was asked several years into 8 Wheels No Brakes the exact same question, and it's not as special. You don't get the crowd. People will say, well, I'll go in 6 months, and people don't. Your numbers are down. Once a year it's tough because you have such a good time, but I think the majority of us completely understand.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Well, the other thing too is when I first started getting into the event scene, right, started attending, my perception or kind of idea about this whole thing is shifted in the time that I've been doing it. Because initially it was my initial motivation to go to events, right, was I want to go to these rinks I haven't been to yet, right? Like I have the bucket list rinks. Sure. And then I go and I get to scratch a lot of those rinks off, right? But in the course of doing that, I meet people, right? I make new connections and all this kind of stuff. And then before I knew it, now the motivation had shifted about where I was going and when I had to pick and choose, right? Because now it wasn't about what rink I wanted to go to. Now I'm trying to determine based on, you know, because I got to spend money, all that kind of stuff, time, you know, all that. Now it's shifted to where can I go to ensure that I'm going to see the most people that I want to see. Right.
No. I agree with you. There's, you know, events like this, we had people from Georgia show up. You know, of course, Philly, down south, we had a lot of people there that I didn't think would be there. And it was just, you know, next year, each one of those people can bring maybe a dozen with them because they had such a great time.
Yeah. Yeah. But
you know, she had the best time ever.
Oh man, I really think people had a blast, Andy.
We did. There's no question.
Like I felt like I could. It sounds corny, and I know I'm biased, but it was like I remember like saying to Jackie a few times, like, dude, is it just me or people seem like really happy like here, like
yeah.
But to kind of go back to what I was saying about the where I'm going to see the most people is that's where it shifted. Because I used to like initially it was like I just want to go to this rink, and it was like as many events as we can possibly have. People can choose and all that kind of stuff, right? But then it was like, but then what becomes important are the connections you make with people. And now that is so much harder to navigate to find out where can I go and have this communal thing that I'm really looking for.
Right.
When everything is spread all over the place. So like when talking to Jackie and Rob, I was like, well, first off, I know that you guys would never want to do more than one a year. I don't want to do more than one a year, but I can't imagine if you took that crowd that we had, right, which wasn't huge, but for a first time thing, I think it was fantastic.
Right.
But cut that in half, you know, like, and now all of a sudden it doesn't feel so special. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing it twice a year. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I think there's, when you see that large of a crowd, the whole floor is moving in unison as opposed to half that size crowd. It does play on your mind a little bit, but you just get pumped up. Everyone around you pumps up when they see that, and you see from the videos that were posted. I can tell you, I'm pretty sore in my old age, but when I see that crowd, I get healthy immediately. I mean, I don't feel this pain right now. It's there. I don't feel it, and I don't want to stop. I'll be sore tomorrow, but that's not now. So.
Well, speaking of that, and look, I've only been going to events for a couple of years. I haven't done nearly as many as a lot of people, but this past weekend was the first time that I had seen a shuffle line with that many people go that long.
Yeah, there were 65. I counted them. I was in there for a little while. Man, that was sweet. Jim Park had one 2 years ago. It was probably around 30, 35. But this was literally, I think, 2 or 3 shuffle lines all merged together. And the unison, the trust that all those skaters have, one screw up and you're all dead. So there's trust. And just the synergy, it's just like you're pumped. It's beyond words, but 65 people, it was big.
20 something minutes it went, because I actually was surprised how much I skated, because I just thought I'd be having to, you know, do stuff all over the place. And it's funny though, is that when that started, okay, now I'm like, I'm starting to talk to people, to take pictures, all this kind of stuff. I'm just doing all these things. And I look out on the floor. I'm like, oh, wow, that's a pretty big line going, right? And then like 5-7 minutes go by and I look out again and I'm seeing all the same people in the exact same order. And I'm like, wait, that's the same line, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But like, I look back, you keep looking at my watch, like, holy shit, like what is going on out there? It was just amazing.
We were sore and we were tired, but there was no way we were getting out of that line. There was a lot of love there, man. A lot of.
Dude, what is it about? Because I think that this makes, I know that Rob and Jackie and even Ray, like, you know, working with Ray a lot, like helping him with his events, you know, he got a lot of help from Rob when he first started and a lot of pointers. And he would talk about 8 Wheels, No Brakes a lot too. And he would always talk about people like the food and bringing food, right? Which I thought was, you know, that's cool. But man, there is something to that I didn't even pick up on until like this past weekend, where I don't know what it is, and maybe I'm crazy, like, but when it felt like as a result of doing that, right? People bringing stuff and all that, it all of a sudden it feels like a way more communal experience. It feels like a more of a gathering, like of family or friends. Am I nuts, or is that a real thing?
No, it is definitely a real thing. And what I can tell you is I've been saying this for years. after skating, we always go out somewhere, whether it be a restaurant, Waffle House. And I would always say, skaters skate together, friends break bread together. And, you're sitting at a table, you're not skating, you're talking about skating, wheels and boots and all kinds of stuff, but you're sitting with somebody from a completely other state you haven't met. So your community gets bigger and bigger every time you go to these things. So there's a lot of love there. A lot of love. Yep.
Have you ever thought about putting an event together yourself?
Rob would kick my ass.
Why do you say that? Why do you say
But I used to run an adult skate way back with Kate's, probably in the early 2000s, and I noticed that the rink owners at the time, or I'd say the rink managers, not the owners, but the managers, really did nothing to help us promote it. So everything was dumped on us. So, we do these events. How often do you do them? Is once a month too much? You got to check your demographics and see how it goes. And the rinks help sometimes, and then they back off and you lose your crowd. Your crowd goes from 150 to 20 in like 6 months, and then it fails. But, you do something like Rob's doing, and it just, everyone was real sad when it ended, when it did. And, we're so happy it's back, but it's a tough thing. You're not going to please everybody. You're always going to get a handful of people coming up to you complaining. And, what do you do? I broke my butt. I stayed up late doing this, and this is the thanks I get. There's no money. It's for the love of skating.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my God, yeah. There's a huge difference too. I've attended enough events, right, and been involved even on the periphery enough to know there is a huge difference when the rink itself, wherever you're holding an event, like either the owners or like the rink itself, when the rink really embraces the event as much as like the person that's putting it on versus just like, like there is such a huge difference, man. You can always tell like, oh, this is like you could like, like, oh, the rink wanted this just as bad as the people that put it together. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And you saw that in Whitehall and I've said this before, when you go to these, even just the session, but these events where the owner is present, like, in Atlanta, you got Jeff Cooey. In North Carolina, you got Billy and Dan from Kate's, always there, turning a screwdriver, fixing someone. They are always there in these events. They are Jim Parks, another. You go to these events. Rob is just that liaison, but I mean, he will not go to a rink if that owner is not as passionate about what he's doing.
Yeah. I tell you, the person that like, and this guy's working so hard because I know that he's really trying to establish a culture where he's at. Like, shout out, kudos to Jeff Groban. For man, one, I can't think of somebody where you go to that rink and somehow he makes every person feel like a VIP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that dude, like that's the kind of like passion that like, really makes a big difference, man. Like it's crazy. Like, were you at the last,
in Abilene?
Yeah.
Down there, the trips a bit involved. I mean, you got the plane flight to Dallas and then another 2.5 drive. And it's just a tough putt financially for, a lot of people. Like, several North Carolinians went and several of them are going this year as well. But I've talked to him a few times in Atlanta, and he's a salt of the earth guy, super great guy, and wish him nothing but the best. So,
he's on fire, dude. He's on fire, man. What about have you? Okay, and here's one thing I wanted to ask: have you been to Brentwood? Have you ever been there?
I haven't. Is that in Newark?
No, that's no, that's Branch Brook. No, Brentwood, Tennessee.
I haven't yet.
It's where they're having Nash Bash coming up here soon.
Yeah, it's just I wanted to go to that. The only thing is there's so many other things. Like, Rob said, you're kind of saturated, this event, that event. And I just got a lot going on. Plus, Thanksgiving's 2 weeks later. So I'm sure it'll be fine. I think she would get a bigger crowd if we had a little more time and it was, you know, not interfering with a lot of other events. But I wish Lacey the best on that, and I really do wish I was going.
Yeah, the way they talk about it, man. It's like this best kind of kept secret as far as that rink goes, because it's kind of funny because how much of it is in that southern hub. I mean, people pass it. People pass it going to events all the time, you know. But I'm just
too with Eight Wheels. When you had New York as your playground, you got Nashville as your playground, and there's definitely a lot to do there. And you know, I think Lacey's posted some of that stuff as well. So, you know, the thing is funny too because these skaters will travel with some people in their family that like don't skate, like a spouse or something, and they have something to do while, you know, you're skating. There's definitely enough to do in that area, and I think Nashville is great for that.
Oh my God. I was stoked. Like, I mean, that's a big reason. Like I wanted to go is like, I've never been to Nashville, but I mean,
Right.
yeah, it's a major destination. It's a music Mecca. It's just so much culture, you know? So I was like, hell yeah. And they're not having crazy late nights at the rink either. So you're not dead the next day, you know, and you can get out and kind of experience like whatever the local fair is, you know?
Huge. Yeah. That's the events that I'm looking for. So yeah, earlier sessions, the better.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Well, Andy, is there anything else you want to throw out about just the whole experience? Eight Wheels, Skate Like No Brakes, suggestions, you got shout outs, anything you want to promote, anything you want, Mike's open to you.
Well, just again, shout out to Rob, Jackie, and Jen for doing what they're doing and not losing passion. And I know after everything that went through on the first one, it's kind of a kick in the gut, but you know, they picked themselves up and they've got an army behind them. And, you know, I'm happy to be associated with him and glad he hasn't kicked my ass yet. One thing I can tell you, just a short thing on Rob real quick.
Yeah.
No Breaks a couple of years back. I was skating around and this floor was kind of empty at the time we were just finishing. And I skated really close to Rob on the outside. And as I mentioned before, you know, Rob's Italian. He talks with his hands and all that stuff. Well, I got a little too close and I got a right hook right in my eye. And the next day I had a black eye. I don't ever think he said he was sorry. He just kept going on talking to whoever he was talking to. Picture of the black eye. And I was expecting him to say, well, you shouldn't have been there. But I think he asked me if I was okay. So it was all good.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's a funny story.
Don't stay close to Rob when he's talking. That's what I meant.
Oh man, Andy. Well, look, man, what I really want to do though is I want to get. We'll talk soon because I want to get you on here for your own full episode. I love to hear the true life behind the music Andy Bruckner skating story. To be honest with you,
thank you.
You interested in doing that?
Absolutely. Just say the word.
All right, man. Well, I will be in touch. Thank you again, man. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for all the support, man. We appreciate it. Glad you had a good time. And yeah, we'll definitely see you next year.
Awesome. Thanks for what you're doing. I appreciate you. Keep doing it.
All right, man. Thanks, Andy.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
I am here with the one and only Liz Brown, creative mastermind genius behind Rink Rat Chat. How's it going, Liz?
It's going great. How are you?
Good. So, hey, this is gonna go on the like big episode that's dropping this week about like the event wrap up for Skate Like No Brakes. So before we get into anything else, I just want to jump right in. You give me your thoughts. Skate Like No Brakes. Give me your thoughts on kind of what you expected, or and did it exceed expectations? Just whatever your genuine feelings were about the event.
Well, I thought the event was going to be a great success, and I was correct. I did not, however, anticipate that many people on both nights, especially one of the nights being a Sunday night. I was someone who had to travel 5 hours to get there. I know most people probably would have been able to take off Monday. So I was really surprised how many people were there on Sunday night. I kind of thought it was going to be more of a low-key situation, but people turned out, and we actually had more people on Sunday night than Saturday night. So it was a fantastic turnout. And as somebody who rolls around and literally like what I do is look for people. I watch people. I see how they are enjoying themselves or sometimes not enjoying themselves. I have to say that this event, and I haven't been to a ton of them, but I've been to enough at this point. I feel like I can say that every single person there just had the most exciting, happy face on that they could possibly have. I mean, everybody was excited to be there. Everybody was skating. And if they weren't skating, there were people talking on the side or watching people skate and cheering them on. It was just really fun to watch. Everybody's so engaged in the event in whichever capacity that was. And it was really exciting to be a part of it. And I had a blast being able to record all of the footage that I did. So I think it was a huge success. I'm not surprised. I think that you have built this following, this skate fam, and I think that they all really appreciate what you have done for them. And I think that this is their way of coming out and supporting you. And it was a true testament to the hard work that you have been putting in for the past year. So I'm really not surprised, but I kind of was a little surprised at the turnout.
I was definitely surprised. I think I even told you like about 3 days prior, man, that's when I started sweating it. Like, I was like, man, I don't like, I what if nobody shows up, you know, kind of thing. And
that's always a fear I think anyone's going to have, even if you have an established event. I mean, there's always circumstances that might keep one or many people away. I recall specifically, I was riding with you in the car on the first night there, and I have a video of you, and you looked sick to death because you were so nervous, and you were like, it was one of those moments where I'm like, Elizabeth, like, don't even talk to him. Like, you looked horrified. But you know, as the night rolled on and people started coming, I think it was like I think Stephen List went on live, and I believe it was like, he said, it's been 13 minutes since the doors opened. He pans the camera around, and there were already a ton of people. So not only were people coming, but they were excited to get out there and start rolling as soon as they got there. So it was awesome. It was awesome to see that you kind of go through that transition of being sick to your stomach where you look like you wanted to just vomit everywhere to, I have many video clips of you just standing in amazement of like, look what's happening. Like, I can't believe these people are here. I can't believe they came. I can't believe this happened. So it was really fun to kind of document the whole night. So it was awesome.
Yeah, it was definitely, because it's so interesting because everyone goes out to dinner before, right? So, and then like, I don't know who it was that looked at their watch first, but it was like, hey, like, we need to go, right? Like, I mean, it's not like
that was probably me.
Yeah, like, but it wasn't like, I mean, everything was set up, everything was ready to go. But so we get there 8:30 coming down Lehigh Street. And I had talked about this with somebody else before, but like that moment because, you know, you're kind of like looking as I'm driving, I'm trying to see before I can see kind of thing, see the parking lot. And the reality is I like when we got there, people had to make their own parking spaces, and that's a big lot. Like I've never.
Oh yeah, people were parked up on the grass.
Yeah, like
people were tailgating. Okay, let's be true and honest about what was happening. People were like partying, like pre-partying out in the parking lot.
Yeah, a little something, something. But yeah, so like when I saw, because I've never seen the parking lot full. Never mind, like, you know, literally making their own parking spots. So that, like, I was like immediately, oh, okay, that, you know, my panic or concern, you know, dissipated. But then, you know, and you're right, like there was plenty of moments where I just kind of stood there, just kind of like taking things in, like, I can't believe, like, look what we did kind of thing. But it's so funny because how quickly that calm and relief goes away. Cause like you said, like, what about Sunday? Right. Like, and everybody knows, like, when you have an event, the last day is less attended, especially now. Most of the time that's like a 3-day event, right? People like are just spent, or Sunday is a travel day too. Like you said, people got to work, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. So like I went from like, oh my God, and happy to then immediately like, oh yeah, but tomorrow. But yeah, man, like I couldn't believe there were more people. It was, and I think you probably got more footage than any, because look, it was a 4-hour session each night, right? So like, but it's almost like you got like in a 4-hour session, it's like almost like you got 5 hours of footage or something.
Well, and as you know, I was horribly sick, like horribly sick.
Yes.
That weekend, and
Trooper.
like, and it was, it was all up here, and I have I have asthma, so it kills me because Sunday night, like I could go and chase somebody for like 2 songs, and then I had to sit down, and I was just so bummed. So yes, I have a lot of footage, but I could have had so much more if I just wasn't sick. So I hope I did everybody justice. Like I had a really fun time chasing people and getting to know people and following up with them after the event, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, no, you like super like no pun intended, like, but super trooper, obviously. Like I yeah, there's no way. Like I don't handle being sick as well as you do at all. So I think dudes in general don't handle being sick as well as women. I'm gonna go on record just saying that right now.
I am not going to contest that. That's an actual fact. And especially if you're a woman who had a child, there's no bar you're gonna get up to on that one. So for sure. But you know what was really neat was that as I was doing it, as I was chasing, as I was recording, I didn't feel the discomfort. It wasn't until I stopped. So, and I think just the energy of the skaters and the crowd in general, like it just kind of kept it in the back of my mind. I was like, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. And, I wasn't fighting myself. That's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to capture as much as I possibly could on both of those days. So yes, I have a ton of footage. It's taken me hours to get through it. I know that my inboxes are like, do you have my video? Do you have my video? And trust me, I'm trying. I had a GoPro to go through. I had my phone to go through. So, I'm slowly but surely getting there, but it was a lot of fun.
I'm going to go on record saying Liz is too nice for this game with the videography.
Give me some time.
Yeah. She'll get jaded to all you people bugging her about their videos in no time.
Well, listen, I know how excited people are. Like I had one girl reach out to me and she was like, I just started skating. I would love to actually see my progress, like how I've come along. So I was able to be like, oh, were you the girl in the white shirt and the skirt? And I found her, and then I made a video of her, and she was really excited to see it. So, I mean, in my opinion, and the way that I view it is that they're just excited. They want to see themselves. They want to see the progress that they've made after putting in like hours or minutes or whatever amount of time practicing. And so even if I have a moment of like, oh my God, I take a step back and I'm like, listen, they're just truly excited about roller skating and their journey. So I got you.
So moral of the story is Liz is a sucker for a good sentimental story for you guys.
Yeah. Hit me up. I'll buckle. Don't worry. It might take me a little bit, but I'll give you what you want.
So interesting. Well, the other thing is too, is that so I've been talking to a lot of people, but like, and talking about the event and stuff like that. But it's cool because like I like talking to people that were there with me because like I know like you can literally validate the fact that like when I talk about it after the fact and I say like these are things I was saying to you throughout the event where like I'd be like, is it just me or do people just seem like genuinely happy here? Like not just like, because there's like one thing of like you can look at a crowd and be like, oh, they're having fun, or hey, they're having a good time. To me there was a distinction in the sense where I was like, but this looks like happy people, as corny as that sounds. You know what I mean?
So we definitely had a conversation of and moments of reflection after the event both nights, and I believe what I said to you was, not only do we have quantity, but we have quality here. And I think that's the key, is that the quality of skaters that were there, and I don't mean the quality of skill. Right. I mean the quality of people's personalities, the quality of people's friendmanship. I don't know, is that a word? Companionship. Like people, I know that there were a lot of people there that, I shouldn't say a lot. There were quite a few people there that I met there that both nights, that it was their first event. And shout out to Shannon, manager of Portland Roller Rink in Ohio. It was her first event, and she's trying to build the skate family up in Portland, Ohio. So she came out and hung out with us, and there was that couch in front of where you kind of set up, right? And every single time I came off to catch my breath, she was sitting there with another person. I looked at her and I was like, this is like a Dr. Phil couch. Like, what is this? Every time I come to you, you're making friends with somebody else. She was like, everybody's just so nice. So it was just like, there were no egos there. There was no get out of my way there. It was like, hey, friends, we are all here. We all share this space. We all share styles. And that's the quality that I'm talking about. And you could tell because people didn't feel like they were being shoved out of the way. People felt like they were being respected, whether they were a new skater, an evolving skater, a skilled skater. And those skilled skaters and those people that have been going to events, you know, like not just like Juicy and Lacey and all your bigger names, but like even people in between that were coming up to these people that were by themselves. And they were like, well, come skate with us. Where are you from? Like, what brought you here? So there was a lot of like skate camaraderie going on. And I think that that's what made this event different. And also, I think what made it different is that all these people shared one common thing aside from skating. And I don't mean to like, I don't want to get your head big or anything or fluff your feathers, but like you are the commonality between everybody. So in a way, I feel like everybody that watches, you know, the podcast or follows Skate Like You, between the comments that go under like the posts you make and people interacting with each other, I really feel like you have made this like other kind of like skate family, and everyone kind of felt that. And I think everybody felt comfortable to talk to each other and just kind of be in the same headspace with each other. And it was, not to sound corny, but it was beautiful. Like it was really awesome to see.
Well, I appreciate that. I know, you know, like I'm like having a hard time. Like, yeah. Well, but that's, I have to keep that in check though. Like, honestly, like I could get like, away from myself with that kind of bullshit. Like when you start believing your own hype kind of thing, right?
Don't worry, I'm here to.
There you go. Yeah, you can check it. Just pop that thing.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing I want to talk about though, in relation to like all the videography and all this kind of stuff, is the thing that we've been talking about for a little while, and and some of it, like it's interesting because we were talking about how we want to address this and like have the event, the place to address it and all that kind of stuff. Between you being sick, me just not even knowing like where to go from like moment to moment. I don't know. Real quick before I jump into this, I don't know how it was possible for me to skate as much as I did, but feel like I had all this kind of community time with people as well. You know what I mean? Like most of the time I go to an event, it's like, I don't even talk to anybody. I was just skating the whole time. Right. Somehow both of those things balance. I skated at this event more than a lot of them, but anyway, so. Well,
there was even time where I like went up to you and I was like, are you going to interview anybody? Like, are you going to have that set up? Are you going to do anything? And you're like, yeah, I'll get to it. And then you just, but again, like the fruits of your labor, you need to enjoy that as well, you know? And I think that's really I'm glad that you skated as much as you did because it allowed you to be really, really ingrained and engulfed in what was happening. Like you felt it, people were coming up to you and you were feeding off that. And that's a reinforcement that I think is really important for you to have and to enjoy. So I'm not mad that you did that.
Well, yeah. And I guess that's what I'm saying too, is that in the sense where somehow being able to skate, like, even though, okay, I wasn't doing like I did like a single spot interview with Alberto Roller King once, but the fact is that I probably had more one-on-one interactions with people, like legitimate, real interactions with people than if I would have been trying to do a bunch of one-on-ones. So like, I'm not upset about it at all. I love that people were getting up on the stage and taking pictures, you know, with the backdrop and taking pictures, you know, some things don't go as planned. They go better, I guess is what I'm saying. You know,
I think that's a pretty good testament to that whole weekend.
Yeah.
But I did say to you, next year we need to have like selfie stations because that was so much fun to like come around the bend and go down like this Whitehall Skateway like lane, and then you just see all those people over there, like, you know, like posing and having fun and laughing, and that kind of organic interaction and that kind of like just seeing those things happen in their own state was a lot of fun, and a lot of I enjoy those are actually the clips that I enjoy coming across the most, is just those really organic clips where people are just, they don't even know that I'm recording, and they're just in their element with their friends, and they're just having a good time, and they're all just so excited. So
yeah, 100%. But one of the things that we were talking about and kind of like talking about how to address and announce, and it's funny, like, and for anyone watching or listening, this might we might not even be able to fully clearly explain this, but that's because it's like what we're going to talk about is kind of evolving as we're doing it, right? And it's unfolding. But so for those of you guys that you've probably seen the Rink Rat Chat stuff in the past, the stuff from the Rink at Neville and everything like that, which I've always just I've even like it's hard to say that I it's hard for me to claim that I'm not biased, right? But I swear, like just the content alone and the creativity behind it and the charisma and everything, I've always thought it was awesome. I've always told you that, you know what I mean? So I don't even know how we say this. How do we even say this? Like, as far as what we
Sk8LikeYou is an amazing outlet for skaters, and you have done a fantastic job of keeping your finger on the pulse as in terms of interviewing skaters and sharing events. And I think Sk8LikeYou just needs a little bit of feminine energy. I just gotta say that. I gotta say that.
Okay.
So that's what it is. That's what it is. So like some of you might know, like JD and I would do Rink Rat Chat from Neville, and that was basically, if you haven't seen it, we would just every month we would get on the camera and we would just literally talk about what was happening at the rink that month. And in a way, that's what Sk8LikeYou does. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you tell people of events that are happening. And I think that could be a little bit more of its own kind of little like side station of Sk8LikeYou. Like, you have the Sk8LikeYou, you have the podcast, and then you have something like Rink Rat Chat that can be more of an angle of things that are happening, talking to skaters a little bit more often, and just having like a little library of all the skaters that are out and about. And so we talked about how we could collab. So I'm no longer at Neville, and I was really just kind of floating around skater space, trying to be able to going from like different rinks and just recording people, just so I had that creative outlet. And I think you kind of noticed that with me, that I was struggling a little bit. And I think we just kind of thought, well, you could hop on with me and I could hop on with you, and we could kind of like work together to make Sk8LikeYou even a more eclectic platform.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, so I am super protective of the brand, right? A little insight and information, right? Like, I don't mind being tagged on things. I don't mind, but please, people, don't take my logo and pixelate the crap out of it and put it on your stuff without talking to me. Please don't do that. I didn't just go into a free version of Chat GPT to get I pay for all my marketing, my logos, my trademark stuff, but anyway, but just to kind of give you some insight into how, like, I want to protect
How long have you been holding that in?
a long time.
I could tell.
Yeah. Stop using my shit. No, but so, but that just based on the conversations that we've had, and not from a perspective of like, oh, this is mine. It's just a thing of like, I want to always maintain a certain level of aesthetic quality, quality of interviews and quality of content and just the whole nine. I don't ever, I want Sk8LikeYou to look and feel at all times. I want it to reflect the amount of work that I put into it. And if at times, you know, and look, and it's not a bad thing, like people do their own thing and that's fine. But like when sometimes people's own expectations of themselves and their own, and kind of like what they want to put into their thing, it you know, and maybe it's just a pastime thing for them or whatever, right? Like, and I'm not knocking anything, but when certain things are different and somebody kind of, for me to take anything else in or take anything else on or let anyone else represent this thing, right? Like I said, I always want it to be a reflection of how hard I work on it. And sometimes if someone could take a logo, they could take a whatever, and they could put it on their thing, and now all of a sudden it doesn't reflect that. Matter of fact, someone might look at it and be like, wow, this doesn't look like somebody worked very hard on this at all, right? So like that's my thing. Anyway, whatever. Okay. So, and it's a major OCD thing. It's just a huge OCD thing. Like, Liz will tell you, you set that in 720p, that video. I don't want that. Right. So, but anyway, but the reality is, okay, that I respect the content and the approach to content and the amount of work that I know you do for a 60-second, 90-second video, right? Like you want to like you do it for the purpose of, one, you want to represent your brand well, and two, you kind of look at it from the perspective of, like, the way I look at it is like whoever this person is that I'm recording, right? Like, let's just say that it's a skate video. Like, they deserve as much of that effort, right? As they just deserve that, right? Like, what?
When people will say something like, if they notice I'm recording and then I stop, they're like, oh my God, that looks horrible. I always look at them and say, I won't let you look bad. Like, I will edit that for you to look good. Because if you look good, then I look good, right? Like, right. So no worries on that. I'm not going to put anything bad up that would make anyone look horrible. So
yeah. So and I know that for a fact, and that, but the reality, the truth is that so there's nobody that I would ever entrust, you know, to collaborate with more than you, just because I just know your effort. It's just all there is to it. It's just, you know, and also kind of like when you mentioned about like feminine energy, right? There gives people some insight into our thing, is that there are some things that we absolutely agree on, and there are some things that we don't so much agree on when it comes to this content stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that balance is perfect, because what I think it raises my bar, right? It expands my vision, right? It gives me another lens to look through, right? So basically, like what we're talking about here, everybody, is moving forward a consistent collaboration of Rink Rat Chat and Sk8LIKEYou, that we're like, and we don't even have a definitive thing that we're going to say it's going to be, as far as like what that, like how will, it's hard for me to explain, but because we want to let it naturally evolve the way both of our things naturally evolved. I mean, I think, I don't know about you, but Sk8LIKEYou works the way it works because it just evolved into what it needed to be organically. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of like dwindled down to what do I contribute best? Like, what do I do best? Right. And like, and I think the same for you. Does that make sense? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and you're right in the respect that we don't know exactly, although I feel like there's that's leading to, like, we haven't really talked about it, and we've spent quite a few conversations chatting about what that looks like. So we do have a couple of ideas, but you know, for right now, what we're starting at is, at least how I look at it, is obviously helping with Sk8LIKEYou and things like that, but being that videographer for Sk8LIKEYou, and the Rink Rat Chat, like the chat part, like to me is not really chatting. Like, you're the chatter. I'm not the chatter. Like, I'd like to video people and then make those videos. So to me, Rink Rat, the chat in Rink Rat chat is like the chatter on the rink, which is to me skating. It's not words, it's skating. So I'm there to capture the chatter on the rink, what that looks like, what that sounds like. And you're there to capture the talking chatter. So to me, it's like two different avenues that we're kind of like bringing together. So because I know it's probably difficult for you. You are a one-man show. So when you have some event like Skate Like You, or even if you're at an event, and whether your goal is to talk to people, like I think that you should have somebody there that's recording while you're doing all of those other things. So that allows me to use that creative outlet that I lost when I left Neville. And then it also allows you to continue to do what you're doing, but I'm going to give you a little bit more beef to what you have to offer back to your skaters who follow and watch your channel and your socials.
Yeah, and but the other thing that I look forward to gaining, doing this collaborative effort is there's a level of creativity that you exhibit, like the Mr. Rogers thing. Is the thing that stands out
to Ron. He's such a trooper.
Yeah, those things that just, and I think too, like, because social media is a funny thing where you can do something really, really creative and really, really believe in it. I know that I'm just talking about my own experience here, but like where I really believe in something, I'm like, dude, this is funny. This is good. This is interesting. This is intriguing. This is whatever, engaging. And then like you put it out there and it just doesn't, and not that it doesn't, for the people that see it, like they appreciate it and they can resonate, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't kind of like take off, which isn't a big deal. But I don't necessarily think that's always indicative of a level of creativity. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like there are these things that I see, and whether it's how you cut things together or your conceptual ideas and all that kind of stuff, that like, one, it's funny because like I said, it's a whole other perspective and like this other thing that like we, can like kind of bring together to improve both brands. Right. Mm-hmm. But like, it's similar enough, right, that it's not like taking two things that don't belong together and because like how you could, some things just don't mesh, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think that there is enough of that synergy it's already there organically, right? But enough contrast to force both of us to get better, right? Just because if nothing else, just be like, oh, okay, I never looked at it like that. All right. Like, or, hey, you know what? I've thought about that. I don't think I ever want to do it. I never wanted to do it. Or maybe I even felt adamant about not doing it, but I trust you. Right. So let's do that. Right. Kind of thing where it just, I don't know, man. I feel super, super excited and happy about it. Like, but I don't know.
Well, I'm honored to be a part of Skate Like You. My roller skating journey, like most people, started in a dark time of my life. And I would have never imagined this is where I would be doing something with it. So, I appreciate the opportunity. And I think that it is a great collaboration. And I think that we will be able to give skaters more of what they want when we work together.
And I think, and I want to make it clear that is what I believe it to be. I believe it to be a collaboration. I don't believe this is not a thing of like, oh, like,
yeah, you're not owning Rink Rat Chat, and I'm not for Skate Like You.
So. No, that's not what
we're both too stubborn for that to happen.
Hell yeah. But like I want to make sure that people know that like that, not that they would think that that's what it is, that people know that that's not how I perceive this or we perceive this, or whether it's one side or the other, right? Like this is not a thing of like, oh, hey, like you're going to absorb this or I'm going to absorb that. It's literally like just, two, and I hate to use the term creative forces because it makes it sound like we're, but just, two creative things that like, or two creatives basically that were like, hey, you know what? I bet together, like this is like form like Voltron and blast you with my shoulder missiles. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. It's an old Eminem. It's like it's original Eminem, man. It's like OG Eminem. When I form like Voltron and blast you with my shoulder missiles. You don't know that? You don't know that?
I actually, when you said that, you know what went into my mind was Transformers.
Well, yeah.
Like I thought for some reason we were like, that
Voltron was like anyway, let's not go there. But no, Voltron like was like it was like this thing that they all assembled together and made one big mega thing. Kicked butt. So
okay, so I was kind of going in the right direction then.
Yeah.
Okay, I was picking up what you were throwing down. Okay.
Yeah, like Power Rangers was like a rip of Voltron. Basically. That's what
it
was a rip off of Voltron for sure. So anyway, let's not talk about 80s cartoons anymore. Thoughts about this? About what?
No, I'm excited. I know a lot of people don't know who I am, so I'm excited to kind of get myself out there. And when you see me coming up with the camera, I kind of have this sense now that everyone knows that we're kind of collaborating, that like you can trust me with that footage I take of you, and you'll know where to find it as well. So I'm excited, and I'm excited to see where we evolve as the collaboration kind of moves along. And I'm excited to help you continue to support skating and to make sure we let people know all the events that are happening. And I'm all here for it. I'm excited.
I guess we could probably say that like Nash Bash would be like the first, like now that we talked about it, it'd be like the first thing that we're like, yeah. So when you see the Rink Rat Chat, Sk8LIKEYou at Nash Bash, like, that'd be like the first thing where we're really all in on something together since talking about this publicly, at least.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
I am too. I'm excited to support Lacey and Brian down there in that rink and see everybody. So.
And I want to see that rink, man. I'm stoked.
That's what I'm most excited about, because I'm a newbie of events. So I'm in comparison to a lot of you, like I have not been to a lot of them. So every time I go to a rink, it's something new and exciting for me, whether it's meeting the most amazing owners, whether it's eating on different kinds of floors, because Neville was a wooden floor. So if I go to a floor, like there's a rink that has this beautiful blue floor. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a blue, I don't know what it is, but like I'm like, I want to skate on that. So yeah, like I'm excited just to go and kind of travel around, meet new people, and see these rinks and what they're about and how they run, and I'm really fascinated by it. So
yeah, I grew up on one of those blue floors. It's concrete with a silicone top.
That's what it was. Happy Wheels. Happy Wheels has the blue floor.
Yep. That's
where
pretty.
I've seen it. Okay.
Yep. Awesome. Well,
yeah.
Cool. Well, I gotta wrap this thing up because you got a life, I got a life, and I gotta add this to today's
Pumpkin
mega.
Patch Day.
Oh yeah. Well, I gotta add this to the mega episode. The Voltron.
Your Joe Rogan episode.
Yeah. Anyway. So, all right. Well, hey, thank you so much. And
thank
you. This is like, what are we acting like? You know what I mean? Like we're business partners or something.
I'll pencil you in for a week from tomorrow to follow up with all the developments of the week.
I am here to report my findings. All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
Sounds good. All right. Peace out. Bye.
Bye, everybody.